What's going on, beautiful people? The Black Okage here, aka TBH. And to be honest, I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Game and Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned in to episode 179. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. If you're watching on Apple or Spotify, please rate the show 5 stars. And if you're watching the YouTube version, please hit the like button and then hit the hype button after you hit the like button. When you hit that hype button, the show will appear on YouTube's new hype charts, which helps bring in new viewers for the world's best weekly gaming podcast. Also follow us on social media. We drop daily content on our pages. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Our handle on most platforms is at GI Updates, except for Facebook, which is GI Podcast. Also Discord, discord.gg/GI Updates. Links to all that bullshit will be in the description box below the video version at youtube.com/GI Updates. Now, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which finally made his debut on a thumbnail in last week's episode, but sadly, he was beaten out by the Puerto Rican duo of Watts and JG. Ito, say what up to the people.
I knew it. They're too strong. The Puerto Rican powers are clearly top tier, S tier, so I can't do nothing about that. We'll get them next time.
You did good, though. You did good. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
I scored high on the racial draft. I'll take it.
And my second co-host was just fighting for her life as Grace on stream, but also going to be found fighting for her life against misinformation on Twitter. Miss 5000 Watts, say what up to the people.
Grum's quote tweeted me. It's over, everybody.
Oh,
it's over.
It's over. Lock down your account. Lock down your account.
Oh, yeah. Lock it down.
Oh, wow.
It's actually not been, well, actually, I don't know, because I muted the tweet that he quote tweeted, so maybe it's bad. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
See how easy it is not to see something.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least is the only person on the show to be called the R word on Twitter repeatedly for sharing his opinions this past week. UTX, I'm muting this tweet to Don. Say what up to the people.
I'm only going to I'm only going to contribute like 10% this episode. So yeah, I'm going to be on my ethos today.
Okay. All right. Well, since the last show, a couple major things have happened, and the first thing we're going to talk about is the 9th entry, the mainline entry in the Resident Evil series, known as Resident Evil Requiem, which stars a new character named Grace, but you also play the returning fan favorite Leon Kennedy. You get to play as both, and you switch between their perspectives. It has a bunch of new features in there besides the whole. You get the dynamic story between the two. You get to get like temporary weapons from different zombies. The zombies have their own different lives. Cinematic, gorgeous. Watts, you got the floor because you just got done streaming the game. Give us the good, bad, and the ugly on Capcom's latest entry into Resident Evil.
So I'm at about 7 hours. People saying the game is 10 hours are lying. Big lie. I play games really slowly, so maybe I'm the liar. But about 7 hours. Right away, the game is gorgeous. Like this game, people were watching it on stream. And of course, you know, when you watch something through stream, the bitrate kind of messes with it. But they were watching it on stream going, oh my God, this is like a gorgeous, gorgeous game. It really is incredible. And I know that Capcom worked with some people in Hollywood for the facial like emotions that are being depicted in the face. So that's cool. The Grace's part, currently there's a lot of memes on Twitter about when you're playing Grace and it's terrifying, and then you play Leon and you're just like John Wick popping off. And that is exactly correct. You're playing Grace and it's like she's really scared. She's just like a data analyst at the FBI, and they've just sent her to where her mom was killed like a couple years ago by herself, by the way. Terrible protocol. Whoever is in charge of this is just, what are you doing? But she's there. She's not doesn't work on the field at all, and she's just there by herself in this place. It's really traumatic for her. So her sections are like peak survival horror. You don't have a lot to fight back with. You might have a couple bullets here and there, but you're basically trying to avoid the zombies and figure out different puzzles, very, very much akin to OG Resident Evil. And then just when things are getting really tense and you're maybe getting a little stressed, you got a little bit of a tension headache, it'll switch you over to Leon and you're just roundhouse kicking people. You're doing combos. You're shooting dudes in the head. It's really fun. His gameplay is super, super fun. You also have parry on his axe. You can sharpen your axe so that you don't lose it. It's really fun, and I think it's paced really well because it switches between them right when you'd get to the point where you're like, okay, maybe I want to do something different. I'm ready for a different experience. It switches right at the perfect point. So I'm having a blast. I really like the zombies having their own personality thing, because now that I've played it, I understand that the reason that they've done that is so you can exploit it. So for example, you can have like a guy that likes to turn off the light switch because he doesn't like it when the light's on. So if you want to move him, you can go and turn a light on and then go and hide, and he'll go and turn the light off and stay there. So there's a bunch of really cool things that you can do that with, like zombies that hate the noise, zombies that hate mess. It's really cool. Yeah, so I've been having a blast. I'm playing on classic. Classic means that it only saves when you use an ink ribbon with Grace, and you do not have unlimited ink ribbons, so it's very much like old school Resident Evil. And so far, peak Resident Evil experience. It's so good. I have no complaints. Actually, just no complaints at all. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm a piggyback off that. I can't believe I said I'm not as far as you. I'm only a couple hours in, but like from the couple hours that I played, I'm in the same boat. I legitimately don't have any complaints, and I'd go as far as to say I'm already feeling comfortable saying like this is looking like an early game. I'm not gonna say it's gonna win, but it's feeling like an early game of the year contender. The game, I love booting up a game and just off rip, I could tell this can't run on PS4. I said, thank you, God. These developers are doing their thing, man. Look, I was like, you are disingenuous if you look at this game and say, oh, I feel like there's not a jump. No, this game is fucking gorgeous. Also, you didn't mention it's at least on the PC, because I'm not playing on console. I don't know what version you're playing.
I'm on PC. Yeah.
PC is optimized. If you're worried about that, It runs very well. I'm running everything maxed out, and it's running very nicely. One of my favorite things is kind of one of the things you touched on is I remember I got a lot of hate because I said I didn't like God of War Ragnarok because I felt like it was very poorly paced. This game is like the polar opposite of it. The pacing on this game is immaculate. You start off as Grace. It's, like she said, it's the traditional Resident Evil. And just when things are getting a little too tense, you switch to Leon, and Leon comes in aura farming, and it just becomes a straight up action game. And before you get tired and just like feel like it's too much, like it's getting a little redundant, you go back to Grace. So I feel like it switches between the two gameplay styles very nicely, very well timed, and it gives, I think there's something here a little bit for everybody. Fans who are more of like the old school Resident Evil fans, and then fans who are more of like the Resident Evil 5 and the 4, where it's a little bit more action based. I'm having a good ass time. And the atmosphere, the attention to detail in this game, like, I don't know if you noticed, but like, so you can choose to play in first or third person with Grace. I don't know if you noticed when you played in first person, like even the way she holds the gun, her hand be shaking and shit like that.
Yeah. And like in third person, they do the thing where when she's running, you can see the animation of her falling down. When there's like a jump scare that happens, she'll actually like jump back. So they've done like really precise animation work for both perspectives. So there's not really any perspective where you're like, that was a second thought. It's clearly like both of them are really well made. And the voice actress for Grace is killing it. Like very early on, I was like, she's going to be up for an award for this performance. It's really good.
Yeah, that attention to detail to like, they really phoning home that she is kind of a rookie in the field. Like very early on in the game, I don't know if you caught it, but there was a scene where like you first enter the hotel and she has her hand on the trigger and she points the gun in her face. I had to pause the game. I said, chat, I don't know if y'all know anything about gun safety. Don't ever put your hand on the fucking trigger and point it at your face. I was like, that's crazy. But I was like, I think they intentionally did that to show how like inexperienced she was. And also another thing about this game too, I think it proves just fuck corporate America. Because we're like, without spoiling too much, you end up at this hotel and there's a conflict of interest there, and like they don't care. They was just like, you gonna be all right? I was like, see, that's I don't know if there's some commentary there, but I was like,
this whole thing is like, what are you doing?
Grace should not be in the hotel, but the FBI said, we don't give a fuck, you're a cog in the machine, you go there. That had me cracking up.
The details on the death animations, like there's one part where the first time you switch to Leon, and it's in the trailers that we've seen where you've got the doctor with the chainsaw. There's so many funny things that can happen with the chainsaw. You can like if you kill the guy who
Was it
has the
alive?
chainsaw-
It kept spinning on the floor for me.
yeah, it can spin on the floor. The zombies can like grab onto it and it will like shoot in a straight line. Zombies can come and pick it up and they can like get it stuck in another zombie's body, and then that zombie can rush you and kill you by just like putting the chainsaw in your body through their body. So I was like, let me see how many animations there are with dying. There's a lot. There's a lot of like really unique things that happen. It just feels super dynamic with all of the ways that you can interact with the zombies and what they can do to you, which is very cool.
Jay, you said some interesting thing in the group chat like a couple days ago. You said something along, and I don't want to misquote you, so you can, fill in the void on this one, but something along the lines of the gray sections were like boring or something like that. What's your take on Resident Evil?
I watched you play it for 5 minutes, and I was like, it ain't for me. You all mentioned that Grace is part of the typical Resident Evil, like the classic Resident Evil that everybody loves, and I've said it many times before. That's the part that I don't like, and the reason why I've never really played any Resident Evils. And I said when we saw the trailer, I was like, well, Leon's part looks totally different. I just want to play as Leon, but I know that's not the game. That's clearly not what this game is about. So I don't know. I was just looking at Grace's part. Like I was watching Siggy. He was running from some big ass monster, big ass zombie, and he was just trying to get away, and he had a lighter, and it just looked slow and boring and dull to me. Again, I'm not trying to shit on the game, but it's just not my thing. I just don't like Grace's part. But I did see that clip of you watch when you were like, I used a special Requiem bullet, whatever the hell that means, just like a big ass 50 cal. And you blew a zombie's head off, and then another zombie threw something at you, and you jump scared. That was pretty funny. But yeah, that's the part. Like I'm just, it's just not for me. I'm not a fan of that type of gameplay. But I would definitely play Leon's part for sure. Any day of the week. So. That's in my opinion.
Well, if you ever catch it on sale or something that you feel open to it, just know that no section lasts too long. So, I mean, you'll get to Leon pretty quickly after like the Grace, and it goes back and forth. And Grace does get a little bit more badass. He just starts off kind of struggly. Ethos, got any takes on Resident Evil 9?
I'm too scared to play Resident Evil 9, so I'm good. I will watch other people play it.
Fair enough. I'm feeling like where I'm at right now in the game. Obviously, got to play more. My opinion could change, but I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan. But 4 is my favorite. But based off what I played so far, I feel like I'm gonna fuck around. This might be my favorite Resident Evil by the end. If they stick the landing on the story, I feel like it's a good mix of both sides of what makes Resident Evil successful. So I'm feeling my gut. I'm like, this might end up being. I might put this above 4 for myself. How you feeling, Watts?
Yeah, it's definitely super up there. I think a lot of people are feeling that as well. That I've had multiple people come into chat and they're like, yeah, this is my favorite Resident Evil game. So I think with them mixing the different perspectives, you got gameplay that can satisfy everyone. It's also just really fun, and it's really, really, really well made. Yeah, I think depending on how they stick the end of it, because sometimes Resident Evil games I'm having a blast, and then I get this like some weird end part, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't like this anymore. But yeah, if they stick the landing, this is definitely going to be up there.
Quick question, Watts. You may know, TBS, you may know. Resident Evil fans have consistently said that Resident Evil 4 is their favorite Resident Evil. Is that just objectively, like across the board, Resident Evil fans, is that their favorite? Or is there any other Resident Evil that people would say could potentially be their favorite, like Code Veronica, for example, or the original Resident Evil?
2 remake, I feel like a lot of people say.
2 remake is said a lot. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's like newer fans who like Resident Evil 4 and that's their favorite one, but I feel like that was a lot of people's first Resident Evil, and we see that with Final Fantasy too, right? Like someone's favorite Final Fantasy is their first favorite fantasy.
Either 7, 8, 10.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I personally, my favorite is the original Resident Evil Nemesis, which is the 3rd one, which that remake was not good.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was not a good remake, but the original was my favorite. I loved that one, and I love 1 and 2 as well. Like I really, really, really like those, and I always like those more than 4. So I think it just depends. But I definitely hear The original lot and 2 remake and 4. Those are probably the primary ones I hear.
I was unaware that JG wasn't gonna play and Ethos was pussy.
I didn't get a code. So, I ain't going front. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get a code.
Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. Okay, so it's you're not interested. You didn't get a code.
That made my final decision. That made my final decision. I said I didn't get a code, so I will just wait. And then I didn't beat Neo 3 either, man. Like I'm still playing this freaking game. This game never ends. So I was like, I'm not going to pick up this game right now. Literally, this whole weekend was just chock full of stuff. And this is one of the worst but best weekend for gamers. And already, and we're in 2020.
If you actually like games.
If you actually like games, we just now hit March, y'all. It's March 1st as we're recording this. But yeah, this weekend was insane. So I was like, if I ain't get a go, I'm not gonna have time for it.
You could have asked. I would have put you on the damn I still got 4 slots on the damn family sharing shit. I only got 1 person on my Steam account.
Ah man, you
didn't ask. You didn't really want to play it.
It ain't that serious to me.
Okay.
It ain't that serious.
Okay. Well, that being said, I recommend checking it out. What do you think, Watts?
Yeah, I highly, highly recommend it. I think if it's your first one, I think it's fine to come into this one. There's going to be some things that maybe some characters that you don't have context on, or some things you'll find that you don't have context on. But you can enjoy this game from start to finish if it's your first. And if you haven't played Resident Evil for a bit, or you're a longtime fan, I think it's great too. So no notes. I think it's great. It's really, really good.
This might be one of the reviews that comes out sooner than later for the GI Twitter page, just because only 2 of us are playing it and it's not that long. So I guess that's the good thing. Yeah. What's the name? All right, well, then let's pivot the conversation to the other major thing that happened this past weekend, which was the release of Marathon's beta, which they're calling a server slam because, they're testing their servers being able to handle hundreds of thousands of players on the game. Ethos, you got a lot of time on it, so I want to know the good, bad, and the ugly on it, because you had an interesting tweet about something along the lines. You ended up getting a video, somebody's video. I guess you were saying that I can see why people needed the yellow paint in games because of this game. Well, tell me about Marathon, man.
Marathon's made by Bungie. I think we've already talked a little bit for a while about Marathon last year when they first did an alpha, and then it got delayed because the reaction to that alpha was lukewarm and a little bit controversial, to say the least. And now we're at the point where after a year of them doing extra work, now everybody can play it for free right now and see if they like it, with some of the new changes they've done to the visuals and just to the gameplay. And so now I think pretty much people are set in the sand on where they are, or you have some people who just still will not play the game, even though it's free. I've been playing it pretty much all this weekend. I've streamed it actually twice. Bungie actually sponsored your boy for one stream, so shout out to Bungie.
Dang.
Really cool. Yeah,
those got the sponsor. Okay.
No, they say, hey, you shilling a little too good for us. We gotta pay you a little. I was like, Bungie, we can make it happen. But jokes aside, I genuinely enjoy it. I said back during the alpha when it was very controversial that I actually enjoyed playing the alpha Marathon. I didn't think it was perfect. I think it definitely needs some work, but I saw the vision of what they were trying to do. And this one's kind of reinforced everything that I really liked about it. They kind of amplified, which is thumbs up. And the things that they've changed were also seem to be that even I was kind of indifferent about. Still, nothing that they changed from the alpha to the new was negative for me. I think everything they've done has been a trend towards the positive. I can't speak enough why I like this game. I play extraction shooters. I've played Arc Raiders. I've already talked my praises of Arc Raiders from last year. This game I really like because I cannot stress enough how beautiful this game is. This game looks really incredible. And it's not just a graphical thing. Not only does the graphics look good now that they've done some changes, but the art style still, I think, shines even better now than it did previously. And it really feels really close to how those trailers looked. It really has that same ominous feeling, very uneasy feeling, uncanny type of feeling when you play it. The biggest thing here I definitely noticed was the sound design is incredible. Bungie's sound team, y'all deserve, I hope y'all get massive bonuses or something, because what they did with Marathon is I'd argue, I think I thought Arc Raiders had a really good sound design. Marathon's is, I wouldn't even say just compared to Ark, but I would just say in general, it has some of the best sound design I've ever heard. It's very easy to pinpoint whenever you hear something. Like I've never had a situation where I'm like, where's that noise coming from? Like you can kind of figure out how far away something is. But at the same time, it's not like you can just, what is it? You can't just spam the sound, like make it up really high and just be like, oh, I'm just going to listen for footsteps. Like it's very good. And it makes you feel uneasy because there's so many of these weird environmental sounds that are happening on all the maps that makes you feel very like paranoid. That's what I say. It makes you feel very paranoid. Like everything around the world is very weird sounding and very, mysterious. So you're kind of like always like looking around, even if there's like really no threat, because you just constantly feel like something's watching you the entire time. Gameplay, I mean, I don't really have to stress. Like the gameplay feels really good. I know a lot of people think it's Destiny 2, but I'm actually going to say, shockingly, this game feels like Halo. And I think it feels like Halo 3. A lot of the gunplay feels very Halo. And I think if you close your eyes and you listen to the game, with like the back and forth with some of the gunshots and people shooting back at each other, it sounds like Halo 2. There's even a couple weapons in the game that remind me of like the BR, the battle rifle, that remind me. I mean, there's one that's literally the Magnum. It feels just like the Magnum. And there's even some Destiny guns too. I think there's a scout rifle in the game, the Strider, that I really enjoyed. I got a couple clips off of that gun. Reminds me a lot of the Mida multi-tool from Destiny. I think it was in Destiny 2. I don't know if it was 1, but I know it was in 2. So yeah, I don't think that the game is still perfect. I think there's still things that they can improve on. But the main reason I've been kind of on like just Twitter, just saying this, is that some of the complaints that I've seen for this game seem kind of ridiculous. I think a lot of people are, and I don't know if this is just how society's been trending backwards, but I think a lot of people who have some of these complaints are just, I do think there's fair criticism, but I do think that there is a decent group of people who have been taught because of games lately of hand-holding you, of that a game should just immediately be like that for people, for them to grasp every single concept of how the game works. And Marathon has a lot, and I think it's not even Marathon, extraction shooters in general have a lot of complexities to them. And I think Arc Raiders, for better or worse, did make a lot of things more simple to pick up and understand. And I think a lot of people who played a lot of Arc Raiders last year, they jump into this, and I'd say Marathon trends more towards Tarkov. I wouldn't say it's as complicated as Tarkov is.
It's somewhere in the middle between hardcore and casual.
Yeah, it's like right in that middle slot. And I said to some people on Twitter, I was just like, this is literally an RPG. I was just like, if you played an RPG, you should be able to pick up a lot of the just high level like mechanics of this game. This isn't rocket science. Like, you're acting like you're building a rocket when you're trying to build the character, and they're worried that I'm going to get shot. I'm like, if you're worried about this sort of stuff, you should just pick it up for now, or if you see something, just grab it. And then when you feel more safe, or when you get back to, safe, or back to the main menu, then go through it and try to decipher. I do agree that there are some areas in the equipment area of like how you're equipping stuff, and you're trying to, go through the sub menus to find certain things. It's you're able to pick it up after like an hour or two, but I can see how like newer players could see that and be like, oh, this is very, weird. But kind of related to my tweet is that I do think that there is some people that it's kind of proving the point that gamers don't know what they want. On one hand, they clown Sony games, they clown Ubisoft whenever there's yellow paint on stuff, or when they're trying to visualize what they need to do or where they need to go. But then on another time, they'll play something like Marathon. They'll play another type of game, and they'll be like, this UI is trash. This is terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't find anything out, which I don't know. The game has popped up multiple tutorials that like explain to you what this thing is, what that thing is. And I just tried stuff. I literally was just like, even if I had difficulty finding stuff, like a lot of it was just trial and error of like, and by hour 2, I pretty much understood where everything is. So again, I'm not saying that criticism isn't allowed, but I do think there is a skill level. I do think there's a skill issue, I think, with some people with this game. But that's not to say that, like, to diminish and say that, like, no criticism's allowed if you're just bad at the game. Any criticism is just you being bad at the game. But I do think there should be a middle ground within, like, an actual critique. You saying the UI's ass is not critique. That's not good critique at all. That doesn't even help Bungie figure out what's wrong. Like, if you're not explaining, like, what were you doing in the UI? What were you trying to figure out in the UI that was too hard for you to understand? That's the information that you need to let Bungie know. But you just like, the game looks bad. It's roadblocks. That like these are not actual criticisms of the game. And I would even argue they're not even good criticisms of the game at all. Yeah. But yeah, I really like it. I'm excited to play it on the 5th. No doubt. This is kind of a further reinforced. So like I'm definitely gonna put it in my rotation as something I'll probably play through the summer.
Yeah, I describe this game as it seems like Bungie made what they want, and I think some people who are playing it are having a hard time understanding the concept of because they made what they want, it means it's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. But it doesn't make it a bad game, because I think this game looks much better on your monitor. I don't think the YouTube and like the Twitch streams sell it. It looks way better on your monitor. I think the best part about the game to me was like it's Bungie. The shooting feels good on mouse and keyboard. I picked it up very quickly, and it feels good when you ADS and when you hip fire. So like I felt really satisfied with the gunfights. The only thing that I would say that I would critique, and they did address it, but I haven't gotten a chance to actually try the latest patch, so I was gonna throw it to either Watts or Ethos. One of my main concerns was I felt like there wasn't enough action. I was mainly fighting. It took like about an hour before I got into a fight with a human team. I was mainly fighting bots, and the bots were smart as hell. I will give them that much. It was engaging, but I mainly would prefer to play against people. So like, what did the patch do? Do you feel like it improved that part of the game?
I think the patch was like they definitely focused on the perimeter beginner map, because the whole point of that map was like they're filling in less players for your first few games when you go on there, so that you can kind of get used to the guns and looting and what all this kind of stuff does. So they did bump that up, but I haven't been able to play that one because it goes away after like 2 or 3 games. I think it's kind of hard for me to tell, because I've gotten into quite a lot of fights in general, and I think it's been more so a thing of like the areas that you're going to. Because in the beginning, you're kind of like, you don't know where things are. You're going to like more outskirts areas. And then as you progress through your contracts, you're like going to more high priority places. And then also people are looking to fight more as the game goes on instead of like avoiding stuff. So a lot of my games, I would say towards the evening of the very first playtest day, I was fighting like, we were killing like 7, 8 people per match. Was probably the average. Ethos, what do you think about the patch? Have you noticed anything?
It was funny. Before they patched it, I felt like I saw more people. After they patched it, I felt like I saw less people. So I was like, what is happening here? I think some people, I do agree. I think a lot of that criticism came from a lot of people just initially were just, obviously, you know what it is. They hop into the game for the first time. I can't find anybody, and they go on Twitter. I can't find anybody. And they don't realize that like they're in the beginning zone of the game. And the game is intentionally built in such a way that they call it threat. So every map has a different threat level, and this includes the AI of like the threat of how many.
Do they
AI
communicate that?
Yes. So when you pick a map, so you probably don't know if you're not party leader. You wouldn't see this.
Yeah, I wasn't party leader. Okay, I missed that part then.
So the party leader, when they pick which map you're going to, they say the threat. So like perimeter has a low threat, and the beginner one even has like a lower threat. So what Watt said is like, because they want you don't want to log in first game and you're just getting mopped up, and now you lost all your loot. Now you're like, oh, this game sucks. So they kind of make it where it's like, okay, we're going to make it where there's less people on the map for y'all. And then you can kind of get used to kind of what I said. You can get used to like where you're going. You can kind of learn the map, learn where certain things are, and then find some like actually get like build up your vault. So then when you go into the regular version of perimeter, you're going to run into probably people who know what they're doing. But there's still going to be less. So the threat level of perimeter is low. So there's still going to be like, let's say 4 or 5 teams that are, let's say 4 teams on perimeter. But when you go to Dire Marsh, it gets kicked up. So everything becomes medium. There's more pockets of hostiles, and then the players, that the amount of teams that enter gets bigger. And then my friend he played the test that was privated, he said that Outpost, or the third map, and probably Cryo too, but the Outpost, which is the smaller one with the fire raining down on you, that one is a way more close combat one. Like it's very more like tight quarters indoors. And he said that one has a lot more people. And so every map you go to after the first one's like an escalation of violence. So you kind of want to like go into those maps with like heavier builds and more stuff on you. Because you're going to probably be playing against more demons. And like I did notice that like when I go in Dire Marsh, people are way more aggressive. People will actually, like if they hear gunshots, they'll come towards you. Perimeter, I felt like especially after the patch, people were scared of my team. Like we would intentionally like fire in the middle of the map to try to get somebody's attention, to bait them to come for us. And like people were just scared. Like the only places I would constantly run into somebody was Hauler, because there's always a team on the other side of Hauler. And if they walk towards Hauler, then you're going to hit each other when you enter. But most of the time, like when we'd extract, you can usually tell if there's a team left. You'd be like, I ain't see nobody that whole game. Then you extract and you'll see another team. It's like, where the hell were you guys? And they were just hiding like
They're
in some other
waiting
corner.
for you to
Yeah,
leave
they're
a
like
lot of the time.
looting in some other opposite side of the map. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why a lot of the feedback we're seeing is it's clear that Bungie has a pretty deep game with Marathon. Like there's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with the maps, there's a lot going on with the factions, there's a lot going on with like build crafting. So they're trying to like introduce the game to people in a way that allows them to get their bearings, which is probably the smart thing to do. And I think actually the way that they introduce more threats to you and more high tier loot and more enemies and more people, I think it's probably a good thing that they're doing it like that. But then you have the flip side, right, where it's like, well, you are being kind of gently brought into Marathon, that you're not getting maybe the tenseness that you were expecting. So I think it is what it is. Maybe they could try adding like another team to a map or something. But I think the problem then ends up being that you won't be able to do any of the in-game events because you're just going to get third-partied all the time, and then that will kind of ruin a different layer and introduce a different problem. So maybe there's something else that they could do to kind of bring it up. But I would even say wait until the other maps are out, because I think the point of them is that it ramps up. So if people are then getting to like Outposts and they're like, yeah, no, this is still like not what I want. Yeah. I think just leave it a little bit, let people experience it a little bit and see how it goes. But I've really enjoyed Marathon, and I do not like extraction shooters. I don't like them. I don't like them at all.
Damn. It sounds like a lot of what I'm hearing is motherfuckers didn't play the game enough. They was too busy trying to get a hot take off.
We clearly saw that. We saw that a lot. We saw a lot on Twitter. I must agree. I must agree with Watts, and I want y'all to really pay attention to what Ethos said about the threat levels and how just to not jump to conclusions so quickly, because I don't know. Again, I think we get to this intellectual versus something else type of situation that we're having here. If something says beginner, what does that mean to you, right? Like, why would you be expecting for you to run into like 50 million teams if you're on the beginner stage? The beginner would suggest to me that this is going to slow walk you. It's going to teach you how to play the game. So naturally, you're not going to run into all the teams on that map. So I don't understand why someone would say, hey, I didn't see anybody to fight, and then get mad and then go on social media to talk about it or make a video. Like, so that just doesn't make sense to me. So if you are the type of player that if you want all the smoke, if you feel like you're a demon, then yeah, when the other maps come out and you can see those threat levels, then naturally you were probably going to play on those. But if you maybe not want to deal with all that, then maybe you can play on perimeter, not beginner, because obviously you're not going to see that if you keep playing, but play on perimeter and maybe you won't see so many threats. So the plight of the gamer, man, like Ethos said, it's just so hard to please everybody because nobody truly knows what they want. But getting to my opinion on the game, I'm gonna say something that may be controversial, because this is the whole reason why I saw that a lot of people were upset at Marathon even existing. If D2 had to die so Marathon can run, then so be it, bro. So be it. Like, Bungie needs to make something else, and I think that Marathon, and again, me also being a person that doesn't like extraction shooters, Tarkov never interested me, like, ever. I played Arc Raiders for a little bit with Ethos. I was like, it ain't for me. But Marathon, Ethos, when we were playing, what did I say? I said this.
Okay.
I
said
I understand. This actually feels good. Yeah, this feels good to me. Like, when we were getting into fights, like, it was like one of our last fights on like day one that we were getting into, like, we got in some like intense fights in like close quarters, right? Like, they ran up on us. I was like, oh shit, there's another team. Like, we ran into multiple teams, right? Yeah. And like, we almost didn't survive. Like, I ended up, we caught a couple bodies, but then another team came in and then they cleaned up. Like, I got bodied outside, I got jumped, I died, but they survived. They ended up, at the end, the team ended up running away. So I ended up getting revived. 5, like we ended up making it out of that. But like it was those those intense moments like that I was like, okay, I understand why people like seeing the smoke. I understand why people like getting into those type of situations. So I never complained like in the beginner map that, hey, I'm not running into anybody. Like we did run into at least 1 or 2 teams and we bought them easily. Like it wasn't a problem. But then we went on Dire Marsh. I was like, okay, like now it's really ramping up. So like now we were seeing like some real smoke, and we seen people that ran away, and we seen some people that actually wanted to engage. So I think that whole moment, and once I started getting my bearings, because Ethan was like, man, you broke out here. I was like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. Teach me what to do. Teach me what to find and what to be looking for and what to equip. So once I understood what to equip and what works, what doesn't, getting all the upgrades and stuff, not only on my character, but on my gun, picking the right character that worked for me or that we needed on the team. Once you figure out all those elements, which again is not going to be immediately, people, again, as even as an intellectual as myself, you can't get something in the first 5 minutes of the game. You got to keep playing in order for you to understand. So I don't want people to just be so quick to crap on things like this, not just Marathon, but anything, period. Just in the very beginning, I want you to actually take the time before you give your opinion to say that something is trash. But again, I don't like people just saying something is trash. At least tell me why something is trash. And like Etho said, saying that the stuff looks like Roblox, like it's a very elementary type argument. And I would argue it's not an argument at all. Like you're literally not giving anything that's critical for anybody to take home and run with. It's like, oh, you don't like the art style, cool. Is that really the reason why you don't play the game? Or do you have this preconceived notion in your head that I don't want to play the game because everybody else doesn't like the game? Or you are one of those people who I mentioned before that was a huge D2 fan, and you feel like now that Bungie abandoned you, now you just want to crap on it. Or you're an Arc Raiders fan and you don't want to see Marathon take any of the time that you all had in Arc Raiders as the #1 extraction game as a flavor of the month right now. Like, so all of these are just some weird agendas, but I'll say that to say this. I like Marathon, okay? Etho said that the BR was in the game. I said, all right, bro, I'm totally locked in now. I say, where's that gun at? I want to play with that gun. I was a huge Halo fan. Again, Halo 3 was my coup de grace, okay? Like that was my, like, I'm super competitive in this game. I played that game so much. I put so many hours into that game, and I would agree with Etho. This game gave me that feel of Halo. Again, I wasn't super into D1 and D2. I played a little bit of D2, didn't really play D1 at all, but the gunplay felt great. I love the environments. I love the intensity of running into somebody else. I love getting into those gunfights. I love the abilities. You know, that's the thing that Arc Raiders doesn't have. Like, each character has their own abilities. So like there are certain elements in this game that just drew me in. Like, I think the overall lore of the game, as I said before, was what drew me in. And this is the main difference that I feel separates Marathon from Arc Raiders right now, and this is the reason why I can see myself playing this game for a longer time than just this service land.
I'd like to touch on what JG said, because I totally agree on like the reason why I don't like extraction shooters. I haven't liked one yet. I don't even play like multiplayer games, and I don't play first person games anymore. And I have like 13 hours in Marathon Service Land. And the big reason for me is absolutely the lore and the world building and all of that stuff really grabbed me very early on and made me want to invest in the different factions to level them up to get more information on them, because like the intros for each of these corporations is super freaking cool. Like some of the best like cutscenes I've seen recently for this kind of thing. And then you're also finding out like what they're into. Like Maida is very much so like just anti-government. They do not like the government. They are anarchists. And then you have New Caloric, which are all about like food stuff. And you've got Arachne that's all about like killing basically. So finding out more about them, and then in turn finding out more about the world, is just really interesting. Marathon has always had super cool lore, and they seem to be touching on that really well. And you can find collectibles out in the world, and that will give you sometimes voiced lore, which has like, you know, Neo Nuban in there. You've got Mael, she's in there. You've got so many incredible voice actors that really help to sell this world and this story that it's really interesting. So that's always been the disconnect with me and extraction shooters is they have you do these contracts to like go find some wire to level up this faction, but there's nothing interesting about the world or the faction. So I just don't care. And when I don't care, it's like purely reliant on the gameplay in order to hook me. And like Arc Raiders is third person, so I don't think the gameplay feels that good. The world is beautiful, and I think it's like a really well crafted game, but it didn't hook me gameplay wise. And then other ones as well. It's Marathon's just it's got the world that interests me, and it feels really good. It's also got build crafting, which I think is a big thing that separates it from other games like this. Is you can actually make a build. You can make a melee build. You can get like the attachments and the cores and everything that really change the way that you play your character, and I think that is super interesting. So I'm excited to see what like mid-game and end-game builds start to look like, and it makes it feel like a roguelike. You know, I think a lot of people who get into extraction shooters say that anyway, is like when you approach it like a roguelike, that you're just going in there on a run and you're doing this thing and you're trying to get some cool stuff, and maybe you win or maybe you just lose everything. Yeah, I will be playing a lot at launch.
Yeah,
I think it's a equal tweet that Ethos about the roguelike or changing your mindset on every run. Yeah, they said treat it like a roguelike and you'll feel a little bit better about potentially losing all your crap in a run if you die.
Yeah, because there was I think one of the best builds I was able to build was I wish I recorded it because I was gonna send it to Bungie. There was like this really cool Vandal build. I don't really play Vandal at all. She's the glitch character, but I was able to find 2 cores that basically was like whenever you like I had a mod for a gun that basically said when I slide I reload ammo, and then on top of that I had a slide that said when she slides she also gets signal jammer, which means it's that little like sensor bar. So I had that with a shotgun. And I realized with the combination of like some other stuff where it was like I had like cardio as well or signal as well. So I had my what's it called? My scout rifle. When I ADS'd for the first couple seconds when I ADS, I get signal jammer. So I was constantly censoring myself every time I got into a gunfight. And I don't know if you guys gone against somebody who's censored, but you think it's like pointless. But then like when you're in the middle of a fight, it's hard to hit them like the precision shots because you can't tell where their head is because it's like blinding you. And then you can't even, and sometimes it's hard for you to tell what shell you're looking at. So you don't even know what your opponent's going to do for you. And it's really good with Vandal because they can't tell when you're charging they see a bright light. I didn't even know this, but my friend told me when you charge the cannon, it's a bright light and the sensor's it's expounding the effect. So it's hard for them to see what you're doing to them. And then you fire it off. And then I was able to down like a lot of people. So like, that's what I think, again, if we're being honest here, if you guys constantly say to us all the time, gamers, if we're all going to constantly say to corporations, we're going to say to a bunch of developers, we're going to say, we're tired of the shooters looking exactly the same. We're tired of shooters being a copy. I don't want another extraction shooter to be like Arc Raiders. And Bungie says, okay, bet. We're going to make a really cool, unique looking game. And on top of that, we're going to put things in that game and mechanics in that game that we've had 2 decades experimenting and mastering through Destiny. So we know what build crafting is. We've done it for a live service game for like 2 decades. Here's something that's completely different in the extraction shooter space. That's no other game touches this. And for you guys to still be like, this is trash. It's like, damn, bro, what do we want? What do you got? What do you want? Like, what else do you want from them? And I get it. You know, I still feel like, you know, I think there's a part of me in the back of my head that's like, you know, I really wish, or maybe sometime in the future, or in some reality, yeah, maybe if this was like a single player game, yeah, this could have been incredible too. But
that's not an argument. That's not an argument. Top 5 games in the last 5 years on PS5 have been the same 5 live service games. Yeah. And the top 15 or 20 games on Steam are live service. That is a fucking lie argument. Y'all love that live service slop. Can't get off of it. Not an argument. Yeah, it's true. But I think I think that some people think that like there's this like I'm thinking of the right word for it. There's this like level of No, not authenticity. It doesn't feel like that's what they want to necessarily make. Is that what you're saying? Like they're following the trend?
Because that's the thing. When I'm playing it, I can tell like this is something Bungie wanted to make. This is not like I agree. This doesn't feel like a BioWare Anthem thing where you play and you're just like you're scratching your head like, why are they doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where there's that mismatch. Like, this is something that's like Bungie was in their bag. Like, you can't, like, when I play that game and I think about the world building, I think about the graphical style, I think about the music. Oh my God, the music is unique too. It reminds me of like old 2000s, like early 2000s, like drum and bass type stuff. I'm like, this stuff doesn't exist anymore. Like, no AAA. I think the art director said best before he left. He said, you don't see studios take this type of risk anymore. You don't see a studio try to make a shooter, especially a shooter that looks like this, that acts like this, that sounds like this. You don't see it. And if we're being completely honest, like, you put Marathon up, and I'm telling you, this is a big argument we've always said. You put Battlefield 6 up on a screen, and you might mistaken it as Battlefield 4, or you might mistaken it as Call of Duty Warzone, right? If the BR mode, you put Marathon up against anything in the market, nothing looks like it. There's nothing that looks like Marathon. It sticks out as its own unique type of thing, and I think that's something that we should give kudos to, is that they could have gone the simple route. They could have made the game look like Arc Raiders. They could have made it look like a brown gray dark shooter, and they did it. They decided to do something a little bit different, and for me, you get my respect for that. Regardless of the type of genre it is, it could be in a genre that I don't care. I see art. I see something that looks really cool, and for that, I give kudos to that. So yeah.
I think what keeps me interested in the game is the little contract system, because like I think I couldn't get into Escape from Tarkov and what's the one, Arc Raiders, because it was kind of like the gameplay loop is you drop in, you loot, you get a new gun, and then you do it again, and like that kind of doesn't do it for me. Maybe like slightly better armor, but in this one, not only is there a story with like tidbits that is given out, but I think the contract system is interesting, because I didn't know it till playing the beta, and this is why betas are important. When you take out contracts for different corporations, you then are able to build out your skill tree, which gives your character different abilities, like you guys mentioned. So I'm like, okay, so not only am I working towards better gear, but I'm actually improving my character. So there's like an RPG element there, as well as like a story that you're playing with your friends. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, the more I played it, I was like, okay, I get it. And like I said, at bare minimum, if you haven't tried it, like the gun combat is top tier. I was thoroughly enjoying that. And then also too, the game's only $40. So
no, that's still too much. I'm still seeing people complain.
Apparently, apparently.
It's still too much money.
Why?
It's a deep game too, man. Like, if I can get 40 hours out of a $40 game, then I'm doing good, and I can definitely do that.
Like I found myself playing. I wanted to know about some of these corporations. Like one in specific, the Sekaguchi fucking genetics or whatever. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is that shit, bro?
With the maggots and the moths and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on?
Nasty. Yeah, that's so disgusting. Yeah, but why I said it best, it's the why, and that's why. That's literally why I'm into Marathon, because it's getting me with the why. Why am I playing this game? Why am I doing any of this stuff? I'm not just trying to grief every single time that I jump in or get the goop. Like, I don't care about this stuff. Can you give me something else that's in addition? Like, why am I doing any of this stuff? So I think that Bungie nailed it, and it's just sad. Like, if you want to, we were talking about this off of the podcast, but I said it's very interesting how gamers and artists music lovers both start to chart watch at the same time. I don't know how this started, but right now, for all the people, as we were recording this, in the top sellers on Steam, Marathon is number 2. Why does that matter to you? It shouldn't. But for all the people that are agenda pushers, when it went down to number 5 on a random day, or when the number dropped in the player count on a random day, everybody wants to run and tweet that like it means something. It's stupid. Can we at least play the game or try the game before we start doing this chart watching and stuff? Game still isn't even out yet. It comes out this week. Like what are we doing? Either play it or not. But if you're not going to play it, and you know you're not going to play it, or you already have it in your mind that you're not going to like it, then shut the fuck up and move on. Play Resident Evil, wait on Crimson Desert, wait on Wolverine. I don't know, like, just twiddle your thumbs for 6 months until that game comes out. Like, I don't know what people need to do, but just stop wasting your energy or focusing your energy on stuff that you already know you're not going to like.
I think to piggyback off that, something that's really been like annoying me lately is that I've seen this trend of like when like we're talking about any sort of multiplayer game or even live service game. It doesn't even matter for me, but I think I see this thing about, oh, well, this will be worth my amount of time, or oh, it'll be fun for like a month until it dies in a month. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I don't know where people's brains have like, I don't know if this is Fortnite's fault, but I'm just like, if a game can give me fun for like a month, like I think Battlefield 6 is a great example. When people are talking about like the player counts, the player counts dropping. No. I'm like, look, I have already put like over 50 hours into Battlefield 6. I played it literally like crazy. We all played like crazy in the first 2 months. And then other stuff came out and I wanted to play some other stuff. And I wasn't sometimes like, I'm not feeling to play Battlefield. I don't want to play it right now. But I would not take away and be like, oh, well, it was pointless. It was a waste of time because, you only play for a month. I was like, but I had fun for the month that I played it.
I only got 60 hours out the game.
Yeah,
like, do you realize what you're saying? Like,
yeah, I got the time out of it that I wanted to. It wasn't a game that I played for like 2 hours and I was like, oh, this is boring, and I uninstalled. Then I'd be mad. But I'm like, I got 60, 50 hours, and I'm like, if Marathon, same thing. Like, if I already put like 10 hours on it, I probably put like another 10 hours on the alpha. I was like, if I end up playing this for like 20 hours, 30 hours, and never play it for the rest of the year, I play it till the summer and I never play it because there's stuff coming out in fall. I'm like, I'm not gonna be like mad about it. I'm like, I paid $30. I got a really fun time for like the first 3 months, and I'm satisfied. That's all I care about. I'm satisfied. I don't need a game. I'm not that type of gamer. I don't need a game to be literally long standing and that I'm going to spend all my time playing for like 2-3 years. I don't do that anymore. I'm too old for that. I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to enjoy my time in this period, like 3 months span, enjoy the game. And then if I'm really hooked on it, like Deadlock, I'll keep playing it. If I'm not, I'm just going to go on and play something different. I don't understand why
those games that hook you are an anomaly. And I feel like people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And like, it's, I get it. Like a lot of games are $70, but a lot of these games are free too. So it's like, you just find something else to play. I will say, y'all gotta chill out with these agendas, man. Y'all are getting so goddamn negative. Y'all gonna ruin y'all own hobby. I was saying this on stream the other day. I checked that calendar, man. Listen, after Marathon, ain't shit else coming out multiplayer. So if multiplayer shooter, there are fighting games with Avatar, Marvel Token, and Invincible. But the thing about fighting games, even though those are multiplayer, those are very niche. Y'all couldn't figure out the UI on this game, so I know you ain't gonna figure out a 5-hit input. So it's a great year for single player games, but multiplayer, it's pretty dry this year. Y'all better chill out with Marathon or you're gonna be really bored. Because it's getting to the point where people are just flat out lying about this game. There was a tweet. I got my first community note when I responded to him, because dude was saying that Steam D, according to the Steam DB charts, there's mass refunds for Marathon after playing the beta. And I just responded. I was like, bro, you can't even track refund. I don't know if you guys know. This tweet went viral. You cannot track refunds. That is private information for the people who are developers and publishers. That's not public information. And it got community noted saying that there is no public access for that shit. But like, what do you gain from that, saying people are mass refunding it? Check the Steam DB charts. The only thing you can see on Steam DB is to see the player count. Now y'all are using it to make up fake analytics as well. This shit is weird.
I don't know, man. It's super weird. Like there were people talking about Horizon Hunters Gathering too, the player numbers, and I'm like, bro, this is a very small invite only with 3-hour playtest sections. Like, you're not going to be able to look at numbers for Hunters Gathering off of this. Like, the fact that is the first thing that people go to is just, it's just absurd. And I understand where people are saying the value is with like a live service game, looking at the numbers and seeing like, okay, well, is this a game that makes sense for me to invest my time into, or is it going to be dead or whatever? But at the same time, especially if it's a free to play game like Highguard was, like any of these games that have been free to play and have kind of failed, you're not really losing anything. Like, if you try it and you like it and you get to play it while it's around, then that's great. If it ends up dying, then you got to have a really good time for, you know, a little bit. And I think that's fantastic. So it's just super strange, man. People are watching the APIs more than they're playing games. And I don't know if it's because they're addicted to social media, or they just want to prove that they're right, or they just want to be negative and they get something out of that. But it's really strange.
I think it's all of that, to be honest. I think the prediction market has messed up a lot of stuff. I think people are parlaying on everything now. So they're like, man, how long until this game fails? Going back to what you said on earlier episodes, Watch, I think people are trying to attach themselves to something. And if they find that right thing that they can attach themselves to, then it's F everything else. And like I said, right now it's Arc Raiders for the extraction people. They're like, nah, nothing else can come in and try to take our food. You can go away now. Anybody who likes Marathon, bye-bye. All the people that are just the slop haters, as they say, everything is slop that that they don't like. They're like, oh, get that out of here. I just like my slop, but your slop, that new slop, no. I like my slop over here. So it's a lot that's going on. Like I said, people are just so freaking weird these days. And yeah, I don't want the pureness of gaming to come back. I just want you all to enjoy what you enjoy. You don't have to just enjoy one thing. I promise you, just try something else, play multiple things. That is why we are here. We are talking about multiple games. Just imagine we were a podcast. We're like, yeah, we just played Marathon this year. And then that's it. Like that would be a boring ass podcast, right? Like you really get nothing from that. It would just be a marathon pod. Like it's just, I don't get it, right? You all come here because you want to hear our perspective on multiple things in gaming. You want to hear our opinions on multiple games. And if we only attach ourselves to one video game or one genre, then it will not be entertaining to you all. So I just need people to get a grip, seriously.
And when these companies offer you a free taste of the game, take it.
Just play it.
Complaining about free shit. It's getting weird.
Yeah, that's true.
I told you, I think it's just projection. I think it's because the current political state of the world is on fire and people got shit going on in their personal life and they just throwing it on these fucking video games, bro. Because a lot of this has nothing to do with anything. Yeah. But yeah, that's Marathon. The full game comes out on the 5th, which would be Thursday. So later in which the week of this podcast was released. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, we might revisit this conversation again once the full game comes out. I can get more time on it, see how we feel, give like an update.
Catch us streaming it together. Catch our thoughts.
We get our schedules to match, adults shit. But yeah, that's Marathon. That's Resident Evil. Let's move into the news section of the podcast. And the first thing I want to bring up is there was an exclusive interview with Windows Central with the new CEO and sidekick, Asha and Matt Booty. And the Cliff Notes version of it is, guys, don't worry, we're learning. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. All right. So, Asha said that they are trying to maintain the identity of Xbox, bringing back the whole Renegade being a rebellion from the old 360 Xbox days. They said they are still committed to making sure everything is on every platform. They also confirmed that hardware is not going anywhere. They're committed to R&D and making sure that the next console comes out. They said that they are not 100, not Matt, but Asha said she's not 100% sure why things are the way that they are now in terms of some of the decisions they made over the last few years, but she's looking into it, trying to better understand why these decisions are made. And she's saying, I'm not going to promise that we will pivot from them, but I'm also not going to say that we won't either. So like she's keeping an open mind, trying to learn, although I feel like you probably should have known that already, being the CEO. And then also Matt, he actually, I don't know if Matt Booty was listening to the podcast, but he confirmed that Xbox is not going the route of third party only like Sega. So Ethos, you're wrong. That's what Matt Booty says. Would you like to respond to that?
Say, the Microsoft says a lot of things and then they end up reneging on it.
And then last but not least, it was a lot of stuff, but I'm giving you like the Cliff Notes version. Last but not least, AI slop. She promises that the company will not be implementing any AI slop. And the person who did the interview, Jez Corden, he got called out by Blessings from Kind of Funny Games. He said that it was a softball interview. And for the most part, like I felt like the interview was okay. The only thing that I felt like was personally a little soft is I wish he would have followed up and kind of had them better explain their answers, and specifically on the AI part. Because I would like to know from Asha's perspective, what do you mean when you say you will not implement any type of AI slop into the platform? What is AI slop to you? That's the only thing I would give a little pushback on, Jazz. But was there any takeaways from this interview, Watts, for you?
Man, like exactly. Like I would have said, now I don't want to be rude, but you worked in AI at Microsoft. Why are you being put in charge of Xbox if you are not here to do something with AI? Like what are you bringing to the table besides like your expertise on AI? Because what'd you say, Ethan?
I was saying, why were you hired?
Why were you hired?
Why were you hired?
Like,
why do you feel like you were hired?
Because you're not a gamer, right? Like you're not a gamer. You don't know about the game industry. You're not passionate about the game industry. So what do you have skill set wise that makes sense for you to run this whole thing?
You also admitted you don't know why they made the decisions they made in the last 5 years. That's crazy, bro.
This interview is giving like you're learning on the fly, and that's not what anybody wants here. If you're a hardcore Xbox fan, that should really scare you too. I mean, outside of AI stuff, like you're not a gamer, you already got caught out on that. You're tweeting, like I say, I'm not mad at her like tweeting with everybody like the first couple of days, but you just really showed that you were like inexperienced in this realm. And we said it before, like a lot of people end up being in these roles. They move from one role to the next. Like you're maybe good in business, or you may be good in this one niche, but coming over here to a whole different realm a lot of time doesn't translate, and it doesn't equal, hey, you're going to do better than the last person. So that's what I got out of it. It's not like, this doesn't make me feel any better as a gamer, or, you know, if I was a hardcore Xbox fan, it definitely would not make me feel like, oh man, maybe I'll give her a shot. Like it's not looking good for any of them. Mad Booty either.
A lot to prove, because I'm like, you know, with the whole AI slop thing, is like, if you don't understand gaming, then you don't know what gamers mean by AI slop. You don't even know what that is. So like, I need you to use some describing words, like describe what you mean. What are you actually talking about? Because it's a lot of just like talking points and words that are being said, but I don't actually know the reasoning behind any of it. But I mean, if she's down to learn, I think that's great. If she's got an open mind, if she's going to listen to people who know what they're doing, I think that's great. But I do not believe a single thing about the AI stuff, because there's no reason for her to be here.
I think another thing that was concerning from this interview that I didn't really see a lot of people talk about was the way they worded one answer. I forgot the question, but the answer was something along the lines, I don't know if it was Matt or Asha. They were saying that, oh yeah, when it comes to the future of Xbox, not only are we going to be trying to do some new things, we're going to try to double down on things that people think of when they think of Xbox, such as Overwatch and World of Warcraft. And I said in my head, I don't think an Xbox, like, yeah, technically you guys own World of Warcraft, but World of Warcraft came out in 2004. That shit been lit since 2004. Like, you guys just happened to acquire.
Overwatch was not on Xbox.
Yeah, Overwatch was
Activision Blizzard titles.
Yeah, Overwatch was lit before the Xbox. So, like, what are you talking about? Like, your issue is what we were talking about last podcast. You lack identity. Like, those are games that you can continue to make money off of, but nobody who bought an Xbox thinks of Overwatch when they think of, like, that's a disconnect to me, I think. Ethos, anything?
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I said this from the get-go. I don't understand why this person was hired. It doesn't make sense unless you're going to be doing an AI route. Or you're trying to get money through AI. There's no logical. And I saw you motherfuckers in the comments talking about we didn't know our opinions were bad or bad opinions. You explain to me, comment section, who disagrees. Y'all explain to me why she was hired then. Y'all break this down, because every time she talks and she explains something in an interview, it does not instill confidence in me. It instills like, oh, this is just and I'm going to say it again. It feels to me like we are about to take Xbox upstate, and you're going to be wondering like, oh, where's the dog at? Oh, well, it's upstate now, and you're never going to see it again. And I'm telling you, it might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be in a couple years. But I'm telling you, we're going to either if they're going to be doing third-party stuff, because they're going to want to get as much money as possible from as many losses they've had. So they need to get as many copies as possible. Or B, they're just going to shut it down. They're going to just sell it out to a bunch of different companies, and they're going to shut it down. That is the two realities I see. I don't see a third reality. I don't see, unless someone can explain to me a more happier reality. And I hate to be a doomer, but I don't see a positive reality from this. I just don't see, based off of what Xbox is doing right now, that there's going to be a positive outcome out of this, that I think gamers are going to be really happy about the results of it. I just don't see it. So you let me know, so we can put parlays on what y'all talking about, and we can find out who's right and who's wrong in the next 10 years. I'll still be here.
And worse. And the worst part about this interview is another interview also came out from The Verge where a lot of things were said. They're doing their whole press run. And a lot of things were said, but in this Verge interview, the thing that went viral that got picked up by a lot of different other websites was current and former Xbox employees were relieved to hear Sarah Bond's departure. Sources reportedly told The Verge that Sarah Bond had been tough to work with, and she's allegedly created a work environment where she didn't follow the vision, or if you questioned it, you were out. So basically, they were saying she was an angry black woman. Do you agree with that, Jay?
Come on, man. During Black History Month, I don't know. I will say this before I go on why I don't think that this was true. There is a chance that she could have been that type of person, right? So I'm not going to completely dismiss that. But I also don't like how a lot of times, especially when people higher up, when people of color higher up get into these positions, and more specifically when people of color who are women get into these positions, these type of stereotypes or these type of titles get put onto them. If this was true, why do we always have to say it in this way? Oh, she was tough to work with. Why exactly are they tough to work with? Oh, you said because if you didn't get with the program, you're out of here. To be relieved of someone like that, well, that just seems super unlikely to me, because like, what was she truly doing there if this was all true? We've never heard of anything like this. Stuff like this, I mean, we hear leaks all over the place. So like, why is this the first time that we're hearing anything about Sarah Bond being a menace in the workplace? Really? We've never heard anything about Sarah. We never heard anything about Phil in these negative fashions. So why Sarah? Like, again, nothing about Phil came out, but this was just about Sarah being tough to work with. What exactly was she doing that apparently nobody liked? And now that she's out of here, you all are relieved. That's what just like that raises a red flag to me. Then I'm like, this just does not seem true. We would have heard something about this. We were like, okay, Sarah, like what's truly going on there? What are you trying to do? Because we already heard the news about some things that were thrown on her, that they said that she was the one that made these decisions that ultimately led to her departure. And again, nothing about really Phil, and not anything about what Phil did. But
the orders of Phil.
Yeah, but they're putting all the accountability on her. And that makes no sense to me.
Understand, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how is none of this is something about, well, Phil was rough to work with, and Phil was like, if you don't follow the vision, you're gone. But I'm like, but Sarah's just executing the will of what Phil wanted.
Right.
Sarah was not the supreme leader.
It doesn't make sense.
It's like, it's because they were saying that like the Xbox Anywhere thing wasn't her idea, but the campaign of like, you know, your fridge is an Xbox and everything was her, but she's not the leader of it. So even if it was her idea, she has no say so on whether that actually happens or not. That's ultimately not up to her. So yeah, it does seem very strange to just put the focus on one person.
I'm calling cap on this story for a multitude of reasons. Friday, it was like 2 Fridays ago, the story broke that Phil and Sarah out. And that weekend, the PR was a disaster on Twitter for Xbox. So it just so happens to be that Monday, after those two got fired, a hit piece comes out saying that, oh, she was really hard to work with. I feel like that's disingenuous, and it takes away from the actual issue, because I'm not saying she's perfect. We don't 100% know what's behind the scenes, but I do think it takes away from the conversation of what the real issue was, which I believe is the execution of their ideas. You want to talk about that and criticize that, that's fine. But when you give this vague, all-encompassing angry black woman trope shit, I'm like, it completely diverts away from what the actual issue is. And I'd argue it's going to keep Xbox in the same spiral, because we're talking about bullshit now instead of what they had poor execution on. Another reason I got to call cap on the story is because recently I was at an event, and I'm not going to say no names, but I know somebody that knows her. And I said, hey, What do you think about this whole Xbox? He said that shit was bullshit, and a lot of people was mad behind the scenes. So you can take my word for it or not, but I was like, oh, interesting. I was like, yeah, I got that vibe. There's a lot of angry people about these fucking articles, bro.
Insider scoop. That's crazy. Yeah, man.
GI exclusive.
I know, GI exclusive. And they also saying it here, and I want to touch on this point because I'm like, well, isn't it the same thing with Asha? But they said Sarah Bond also wasn't a gamer like Phil was. Okay, we never expected her to be a true gamer, but y'all quickly, and I mean quickly, got on Asha about that. So aren't we in the same situation? Like, how you going to take someone who's not a gamer and then bring another gamer?
Worse.
Right,
Yes,
it's worse.
It's worse because she's leading it, but it's different because it's like Sarah Bond was brought in while everything was happening, and she was learning it under Phil, who was a gamer. So she's learning how everything's working in real time. Asha doesn't have that. She doesn't have someone who's like, oh yeah, I can tell you how everything's works. Something like that. They just threw her in the pilot seat and said, yo, fix it. What? Doesn't make sense. Also, I just want to point out this woman, and again, I never mean this stuff as like derogatory towards women or whatever it is, but this woman joined Xbox when? A couple years ago? What was it, 24?
Yeah.
24. What I want to know is from 24 to 26, what I need to know her accomplishments. What when she was in Microsoft, what was the thing?
I think Matt Booty should have been next in line because we knew that name at least.
Matt Booty is terrible. I need y'all seriously.
But he just saying just from a visual standpoint.
I need y'all to Google.
I'm just saying, like, he was third in command, so in my head, I'm like, okay, well, he's next up. I agree with what you're saying. Where did she come from, bro?
Watch knows. Google what Matt Booty's history is of him in Microsoft.
You got a stanky booty.
Just Google what actions and what things he's been responsible for within Xbox within the past decade. That's all I'm gonna say. And you can come up with your own conclusions. If you think Matt Booty should be in charge of Xbox, you can let me know if you think he's the best man for the job. Because I'm telling you, if there's any person, Asha's a better, I'm gonna say right now, I don't know anything about Asha. Asha is a better pick than Matt.
Hey, but hold on, this proves my point though. You see what all these dumbass articles are doing? They're doing exactly what they were designed to do. And it's taking the conversation away from the real issue, which was the execution. Who greenlit Phil Spencer to buy Activision and Bethesda back-to-back, spend damn near $20 billion, do nothing with it, and now they're panicking. They should have bought either Bethesda or Activision, put out a few, especially with Activision, they should have put out Prototype, Call of Duty, New Spyro, whatever else the fuck is under their catalog, make their money back, then go buy Ubisoft or Bethesda. That's what we should be talking about. But instead we're talking about, oh, she was an angry black woman. It's all a distraction, just like the Epstein shit.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you just say we have to be careful?
You're right. I think it's all bullshit. I think it's a hit piece just to distract everybody so they can get some good press. Because on the flip side, right after the Sarah article came out, then the Asha and the Matt Booty article came out. Yeah, we're really looking into trying to be Team Xbox. I'm like, all right, man. Y'all don't see what the fuck going on. This is a spin to me.
How can you not see the spin, bro? I don't understand why this is hard for people to wrap your hands. I get it. If you're an Xbox Legionnaire, I get it. You just cannot accept that this is going to be a negative thing. You have to believe that this is going to be a positive because y'all been getting belt to ass for the past decade against PlayStation. So I get it. Anything new has to be better. I promise you that's never the case. I promise you the truth is, and history has shown, just because you replace one thing with another thing doesn't mean that the new thing's gonna be better. So
literally what's going on right now, bro. Oh my god, yeah.
Yep.
No, you spitting. Yep.
All I'm gonna say is, if you want to criticize, that's fine. Just keep it to what's actually important, because when the topic switches to the angry stereotypes and the tropes and shit like that, it gets away from actually being able to solve the problem. Kind of like people saying, "Oh, nobody plays live service games. Nobody wants." That's a fucking lie. You guys love them. The issue is the quality of set of those games. But you know, it is what it is. It's funny too, because in other Xbox news, in the midst of all this drama, I saw this rumor, can't stress this enough, it's a rumor on the timeline, regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Sources indicate that the delay of the next Xbox hurt a lot of Call of Duty's marketing plans they wanted for Modern Warfare 4 to be a launch title and draw a lot of hype to compete with people's attention alongside GTA 6. So apparently Modern Warfare 4 was supposed to be a launch title for the next Xbox and compete with GTA 6, because the next Xbox was supposed to come out next year, but with this whole RAM situation, we don't know. Do we actually believe that? I'm gonna go ahead and say, I hope this ain't true. I hope Activision and Xbox didn't think that, first of all, Modern Warfare 4 was gonna be some type of GTA killer, or a console seller. Like Call of Duty is just, in my opinion, it is what it is now, but it's not really moving any needles. It's not, I don't think it's going to make anybody rush out and buy a new console. What you think, Jay?
I mean, like, even if for some reason we're PC gamers, so it's, you know, not much is going to move us. But if this new Xbox like made Modern Warfare 4 look so amazing, like just push the graphics to the next level, is that still enough to push the new console? No, I don't think so, because it's Call of Duty. You have to have that killer app. And just because you own Activision Blizzard, like the Call of Duty is still not going to move consoles like, again, if Halo in its heyday, Gears in its heyday, those are those killer apps for the Xbox that would move units. But no, not a Call of Duty. So yeah, I'm hoping this isn't true as well. Because then this would also indicate that this is a more internal conflict, because this isn't Activision as somebody who's talking to Xbox. This is Activision under Xbox, because they own you now. So you're having conflict within yourself over the next Xbox and trying to launch your new game. Like, no, that would be a huge reach. The only way that I would see a little bit credence for this is they're trying their damnedest to try to find something that could potentially revive Call of Duty and bring it back to the top after the belt to ass that they got on Black Ops 7. That would be the only way that I could see this potentially being true.
I don't know. The belt to ass wasn't that bad. I don't know if you saw in January, Black Ops 7 was the best selling game. So niggas don't hate it that bad.
Oh God, no, I know y'all did it, man. I don't know if
I put it in the notes. I know I covered it on one of my streams. The sales are starting to tick up a little. They can't stay away.
It was on sale for $20. So I mean,
you think that helped?
Yeah, I think they just made it dirt cheap. Yeah.
All right, well.
What's your thoughts on this Modern Warfare 4 rumor, Ethos?
I don't care if it's real or not. I don't care. I feel like it's irrelevant. Yeah, it's more smoke. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's Call of Duty. You know,
perfect time.
Who cares? Speaking of evil corporation news, Jason Schreier from Bloomberg has been hearing around the industry that Sony could potentially be considering removing their PlayStation exclusives off of Steam. And I just love that it's not confirmed. It's just something that's being murmured around. But if it turns out to be true, remember where you heard it here first. And when I seen this article, this shit had me cracking up, because I've been screaming for the longest for all the people laughing at Xbox. You do not want them to fail, because the moment Xbox collapses, Sony's going to fuck you all over. And the rumors are already starting. They're talking about pulling their games, because friendly reminder, the only reason PlayStation games were on PC was because of Xbox. People like to act like Xbox didn't do anything useful or helpful over the last 10 years. And they did a bunch of things that Sony actually copied, and this was one of the things. But we could see a world where there's less options for consumers because of Xbox failing. Do you think that this could actually happen once?
I think so. I think it definitely could, because I mean, we also the only reason I have a PlayStation 5 is because there's games that do not come to PC ever, or they take 6 months to a year plus to come to PC, and I don't want to wait that long, or I can't because of what I do. So yeah, as I don't want it to happen, I want to play everything on PC. I much prefer to play everything there, but I can absolutely see them doing it, because it's such a big driving force of people buying consoles. We saw what happened with Xbox and not having exclusives, and then not making any games for so long that they could be exclusive. And yeah, if PlayStation wants to stay making hardware, I think that having exclusives is something that really drives people to get it. So I can absolutely see it happening. It would be really strange to do it now, because they just started doing PC releases for stuff, and then taking it away is a bit strange. But yeah, I think especially if Xbox starts messing up, we're definitely not getting them on PC anymore.
I think this would be devastating if they did pull the games off of PC, because I'm looking at it from the standpoint of all those people who finally upgraded to PC, and then they snatch all the PlayStation exclusives off of there. They're like, oh man, and I got to go out and buy a PlayStation, and Sony saying fuck you. But I also think it's bad because I mean, if we look at like this article we covered last podcast, you know, PlayStation community, they've been playing the same games, buying the same microtransactions since 2022. Fortnite, Call of Duty, GTA 5, Roblox, Minecraft. That's all y'all play. And what I'm about to say, if it don't apply, let it fly. That's what a lot of you play. Let me rephrase that. The point I'm trying to make is, for the people complaining there's not a lot of games to buy, a lot of these PlayStation exclusives, they were coming to PC, and the reason they continue to be made is because they came to PC and the PC community was buying them, because y'all ain't fucking buying them, bro. So if there's a world where they're removing all these exclusives off of PC, that is going to affect the sales, because there's no guarantee that PC owners are going to go buy a PlayStation just to play Wolverine. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, fuck that shit. My PC's $2,000. I'm not doing that. And what's going to happen is the cycle, in my opinion, could end up getting worse. You're going to have a group of gamers complaining that there's nothing to play, even though they won't even buy these games. So then Sony looks at the numbers and they say, a lot of you guys aren't buying them, especially because we moved it off of PC. So we're just going to give you even more live service slot for you to complain about. What you think about that, Ethos?
I mean, is that not what's happening with Bluepoint? Is that not what just happened? I think Bluepoint is a pretty dangerous North Star right now for Sony, and the actions that they've been taking, and it doesn't help with the whole, which I'm pretty sure we'll get into, the whole FromSoft thing has made things kind of 10 times more scary. So yeah, we're in dangerous water right now, and I do agree. I think competition is always good, and it makes whoever's the first place person, it does allow them to kind of hopefully balance them out a little bit. And we always saw this back and forth with every generation, where one got a little bit ahead, the other one fell behind because they were doing really good the generation before. They got a little cocky and ended up costing them. Unfortunately for Xbox, their sin has costed them for the last 2 generations, when history before that had been kind of like this sort of like, one gen you go ahead, next gen I go ahead. So yeah, we're in dangerous water. I mean, we've been preaching since, oh my God, when, like 2015, 2016, we've been preaching for a long time not to trust Sony, and to never believe that they're supposed to be this like good guy or for the gamer. And we've been always saying that ever since like that whole funny little skit about them talking about used games, and that, yeah, we're for you guys, we have used games. And then lo and behold, reporting coming out, and we find out that no, they were going to do it. And then when they saw the reaction, they last minute pulled the cord and said, "Oh no, don't. We're not going to say that." So they let Xbox take the L on it. So yeah, I again, like, I don't think that there's any measure to believe that they do it one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there may be, and I think Sony's still going to say, is like, for our multiplayer live service games, we're going to keep them on PC and PS5. And then for our single player exclusives, we're just going to keep them on, we're going to go back to just keeping them on PS5, because now we don't have any work. We Microsoft might be, for all we know, Microsoft might just pull out of the market entirely. And that's even a worse scenario. And we're going to be able to buy those studios up at a bargain. And now they're going to be becoming part of PlayStation. But again, this kind of goes into why Bungie was acquired. Why is Bungie there? Just like we said, why Xbox? Why are you hired? Why are you now the CEO? Why were you hired? Same thing like Bungie. Why are you overpaid, I should say? Why were you guys acquired for a lot more than what your actual value was? Why were you evaluated way higher than what your actual evaluation is? Oh, it's because, why? Oh, yes, you want us to help you make live service successful games. And we want you to make another successful live service game for us. And it's because, our player base, as what TBH loves to point out multiple times, and I get a kick out of it every time I see a Twitter post come out with a reporting of that. I get a good little giggle out of it, because I'm like, oh, this is going to get, people are going to get mad about this. You guys play it. And when we say you guys, let's be honest here, we all do it. Whether we want to agree to it or not, I'm pretty sure no person's going to sit here and tell me. You guys could say it, but I think the group of gamer that says, I don't play any multiplayer games, I only play my single player games by myself, my old games, you guys are a dying breed. We're all a dying breed. You're a dying breed. You're not part of the market anymore. You're not a focus of any of these companies anymore. The thing the company notices is that the attention, the amount of money is being spent, the amount of money you're obtaining, it's on live service, and you guys are feeding into that system. And that's not to say that's just, it's just these, and this is the crazy part. I don't think it's just the 9 to 5 gamers. I don't think it's just, it's just 9 to 5. I know, because I checked my Steam today, and I had a realization. I was like, oh my God, I'm one of these live service players right now. Because I was like, I looked at the recent games I've been playing lately, and I'm like, oh yeah, I played Marathon, I played High Guard, and I was like, I played what was the other thing? I was playing like Helldivers last year. So it's like I participate. I play some of those things that I enjoy because I enjoy.
The difference is you're self-aware though, and there's nothing.
Yeah, but I'm self-aware of it. Yeah, but the thing is, that's not all I play. Like I'll play other stuff. Like I'm planning on going back to play ReFantazio because I didn't get a chance to play the year before when it came out. But like, you know, I think there's that self-awareness, and I think a lot of these people that what you're saying, TVH, they're talking about, I don't play this slop, I don't care about that. It's like, you're playing League of Legends still? You still playing Minecraft? You still
if you guys didn't really play that
game?
slop when Expedition 33 won Game of the Year, you should have never even been. You didn't have to agree with it, but you should have never been shocked. That was a dead giveaway. Y'all play slop. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Bro.
So and what's crazy is I had a quote tweet where I saw, which is insane. I mean, this blew my mind. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. I saw someone tweet, a gacha player was streaming, talking about ball and gun gamers, saying that they play slop.
That's you.
And I was like,
Yeah, that's
you just the anime version.
The irony of this, I was like, for you to, it's you. Yeah, it's the Ice Cube thing. Like, it's you. Like, bro, you are not helping this. You're talking about, I couldn't believe I met this person and I was asking what games they played, and they told me they played Call of Duty and Helldivers 2 and stuff like that. And immediately I was just like, oh, you're a slop player. You're a slop gamer. And then we're sitting there like, and he's like, but I play stuff like Enfield and Genshin Impact. And I'm sitting there like, are we serious? Like, where's the self-awareness in this? Like, gacha players, do you really think you're above this? Like, you think you're more superior to ball and gun gamers?
I'll say this
the
much.
same coin of this. You're an anime version.
We don't push too many agendas on this podcast, but I feel like when we do, it is backed by numbers, and I think that's the part that confuses me. I will sit here and show you the evidence of what's going on. No, not me. But then people will accept on Twitter this person that tweeted out, oh, everybody's refunding fucking Marathon. Check the Steam DB. You can't, bitch. What the fuck are you talking? You made that up, bruh.
It's terrible.
It's getting really weird. Any take on this?
You click a button and you show the article, and you're seeing it. You guys get to see it yourselves. If you're
stating who did the research. It's usually coming from Sarcana. But any thoughts on this? Sony potentially pulling from PC, Jay?
Man, yeah, I'm with Watts. I think this is probably gonna be more true, and it's really gonna be a slap in the face to PC gamers, mainly Steam gamers, because like you mentioned, TVH, every time that a huge single player game comes to Steam, it ends up being number one. God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us. Shout out to DX. I remember I had this conversation. I was like, man, here comes another Last of Us. I was like, who the hell wants to play this? And DX was like, I've never even played this. You know, I ain't own a PS3. I ain't own a PS4. There are some really, really dedicated PC gamers that will not and have not purchased a PlayStation console. True. And they will play these games. And Sony is making y'all money. So for me, I just don't understand where it correlates. I would need to see the raw numbers of like how much you've made off of your games, your single player game, putting them on Steam, versus how much you could potentially make or that you have made from leaving those single player games on the PS5, and how many people have bought a PS5 or a PS4 or whatever else and you know, end up purchasing that game, because it just doesn't make sense to me. It seems more of a petty type of move, in my opinion, but I can definitely see this being more true than not. And like I said, I just don't like it, because I would rather, and I know it's not going to be a simultaneous release, but that would be the best case scenario, to be a simultaneous release of some of these games. But I know that's not going to happen. It's not even going to be 6 months. It's going to be 2 years, literally 2 years minimum, till these games are going to come on the PC. So for you to just take that away after like having this 2 year threshold, that just really doesn't make any sense to me. Because again, they're going to play them. The same people are going to play them, but I can't wait that long. I can't wait 2 years. So that's why I have my PS5 sitting here collecting dust, just waiting on the next game to come out that I'm not gonna be able to play on Steam until 2 years later. So it is what it is. But you know, we're in a different type of situation, so it sucks. But I think that this could be more true than not.
Okay. And to go back to something that Ethos touched on a little bit earlier, we got some insight into why Sony shut down Bluepoint, which were the makers of the Shadow of Colossus and the Demon Souls remakes. 70 people were laid off by Sony. And we found out Sony vaguely mentioned, coincidentally, because I would love to actually see the specific numbers, but the reason why Bluepoint was shut down is they weren't selling enough copies of their games. No specific numbers were given, so I thought that was very coincidental. But also it was revealed they were working on a God of War live service game. And that got shut down after a little bit of like pre-production development. And then they also pitched a remake for Bloodborne. So this is for all the Bloodborne fans out there. We don't know what's going on if Bloodborne 2 will ever come out, but I think a lot of fans would have been happy if they would just got a remake with better visuals, higher frame rate, some quality of life changes. A lot of people thought the reason this wasn't happening was because of Sony, but according to Bloomberg, Sony wanted this. They knew it was going to print cash, and Bluepoint was greenlit to do it, but who didn't agree to it was Miyazaki, the head of From Software, and that's because apparently it's his baby and he wasn't comfortable with them handling it, because I know there were some complaints from some hardcore Souls fans that some of the quality of life changes in Demon Soul wasn't up to snuff. So maybe Miyazaki felt like he doesn't want them touching Bloodborne, but that's the reason that it actually got shut down. I see you nodding your head, Watts. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm glad we finally have some kind of something about this, because it's just been like you never talk about it. What are you doing? You never hear anything. So it's nice to hear something, and I'm not surprised. Anytime Miyazaki talks about Bloodborne, it's like he's talking about the thing that he loves most in this entire world. Like, it seems like Bloodborne is really, really special to him. And I don't know what his plan is with Bloodborne, whether he's planning on making something in that world again, but he can't because like Sony actually owns it. Yeah, I don't know. Or if he wants to be the one that actually like directs a remake. I don't know what it is, but it does make sense to me that he would want to be hands-on if something like that does happen with Bloodborne because of his relationship with Bloodborne. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Dude, just now I have to flip it back to Sony and say, okay, so we're not getting a remake. Is there a reason why we can't have a 60 FPS remaster or just put it on Steam? Like, is there a reason why we can't do that? Because that doesn't require you to change anything about Bloodborne. It will remain exactly the same. It's just going to run a little bit better, and it's going to be available on more systems. So that's what I would want to see. I want to see them do that because it's not that old of a game. Like, if you just updated it frame rate wise, it's still going to be an incredible freaking game and put it on PC. But yeah, I hope that Miyazaki and FromSoft can end up doing something in Bloodborne's world or fully remaking it eventually. To me, looking at Dustbloods, like, we got some kind of like at least one extra screenshot from that game, and it looks very, very Bloodborne. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, this kind of makes sense to me. I'm not really surprised. Put it on PC, 60 FPS. Please.
Any thoughts, Ethos?
All right. This reminds me so much, and I'm about to traumatize a bunch of anime watchers right now. This reminds me so much of Togashi for Hunter x Hunter. It's almost a one-to-one of, it's a little different where Togashi has health issues. And by the way, fun fact if you don't know, he's married to the creator of Sailor Moon, who's an incredible artist. And a lot of people have said, even myself, I've been like, bro, I get that your legs hurt. I get that your body hurts. Bro, your wife, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not a good drawer. Let your wife do it. Like, your wife has said, like, I'll help. Like, let your wife like draw it and stuff like that. You know the story, you're writing it, but like, please, like, we haven't gotten the chapter in goddamn 2 years, 3 years, and he goes on these long hiatuses. And granted, everything he puts out is like fire, but it's like we have to wait so long. So now you have a fan base who is basically so upset with the creator because they're just like, you can't keep dropping heat, like 3-4 chapters of heat, and leave us in suspense, and then you make us go on hiatus, and now we're stuck in this like limbo state where we're just like, are we ever going to get the completion of that? And I feel like that's like a reverse of like kind of a similar thing that's happening here. I agree with Watts that I do perceive that Miyazaki loves it as his baby, but at the reverse of that, my argument would be, then why didn't you do it instead of this Nintendo Switch exclusive. I was like, if
He
you
said he ain't got time.
you don't got okay. So let me say this one. You ain't got time to remake your magnum, which I perceive as your magnum opus. It seems like this is your magnum opus. Between this or Elden Ring, I don't know, but it sounds like what you're saying is like it seems like still Bloodborne is probably still his magnum opus. Your magnum opus, and you have the chance to like update it, get more people to be able to play your greatest game that's only on one console that no one else has been able to touch, and it's getting close to we're getting close to Metal Gear 4 levels of like this thing is being prisoned on one machine that is old, is now considered a retro console that we can't even play, and the only way you can play is I guess you can play it on PS5, but it doesn't have any of the upgrades, no quality of life, no 60 FPS. And I agree with you, I don't need the game to get new textures. All I want the game to do is if you can fix the frame stuttering that's been the biggest issue about Bloodborne.
It's the only reason I won't play it. I'm not playing 15 frames.
And yeah, that's the reason I have it. Is like I played a little bit of it. You can check my trophy. I played a little bit of Bloodborne, but I'm like, but I don't want to ruin like. I can play it at 30 if I wanted to with the issues, the technical issues that it has, because Elden Ring has similar issues too. But I'm saying is that I'd rather just wait so that I can experience it at its height of possibility of this is running at 60 FPS. Now, I know we all know allegedly, you can play Bloodborne on PC, allegedly, through alleged ways. It is possible. Someone did find a way to do that. And there have been modders who have reported and proven that they can get Bloodborne to run at 60 FPS. It's not something with the engine problem that's makes it impossible. It's already been tested and proven that this thing can run on PC already, and people who don't even work for Sony were able to get the code and be able to do that. So I'm not understanding the excuses. The excuses, the audio ain't matching the visuals. I agree with what you're saying, Watts. But again, in my mind, if you got time to make a Nintendo exclusive Extraction Bloodborne shooter, you got time to make me a Bloodborne updated patch version. Like you had a time to do Elden Ring and Armor Core. You had time to
why not give it to the Night Rain team? He clearly trusts them, and they just check in on them every 6 months, make sure everything's going smooth.
Maybe that's the grand plan. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
Where's the time? You had time to do Armor Core, Elden Ring DLC, Night Rain, and experiment with Night Rain, and a Nintendo thing within the span of how long, Watts?
And let's be clear that Elden Ring DLC was really a full game.
That was a massive game.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, for sure.
So if you're telling me you're busy, what's going on here?
Take some time, bro. Take some time and give us
act like it's your baby. I think that's what he's saying, man.
Yeah,
seem like it.
Show me you really care. I don't think you care.
Yeah, nah, he ain't lying. Here's my thing with Miyazaki though. All right, saying if this is true. All right, he said he ain't have time to focus on Bloodborne, and maybe you were a little bit upset at what Bluepoint did with Demon Souls. Okay, I get it. Here's the thing though. And I know I'm saying this in hindsight, Miyazaki. If you ever see this podcast, do me one thing: don't ever do business with Sony again. Don't ever give them your IP, because this is exactly why you were in this situation. If you would have held on to it, maybe we would have seen a Bloodborne remaster, remake. We would have seen Bloodborne 2, but now you can't touch it because Sony owns it, and whatever conflicts y'all are going through, somebody's not respecting the other side, right? Because of this alleged thing with Bluepoint that they wanted to do it, but that you thought that Sony was going to respect your wishes, and then Sony still ended up saying no. Whatever happened, at this point I don't care who's at fault. I'm not trying to do the blame game, but don't do this ever again, Miyazaki. Especially if you feel like something is your baby, then don't let anybody touch your baby, bro. Just make it on your own, and then make sure it's on every single platform. I'm hoping that the same situation doesn't happen with Dust Bloods, because this is going to be another exclusive to Nintendo now. So, and Nintendo even worse in my opinion sometimes when it comes to this stuff. And Ethos, I don't know if you have any insight or anybody else on here. I wonder how much it would cost. Let's say this scenario. If Miyazaki came to Sony and was like, hey, man, I'm tired of this. I really want to make Bloodborne again. I want to do a remake or remaster. I want to do something with it. How much to buy this back from you? Do you think that Sony will be like, hey, man, if I just name a price, you think that Sony would give it back? Because here's my thing. If Sony is just going to just leave this in limbo or do nothing with it, and there's nobody that Miyazaki trusts other than his own team to make Bloodborne or do anything with it, then what are we doing here? So give him his masters back. This is like in music. Give that man his masters back so he can do something with it. That's all I'm saying. Yo, Miyazaki, talk to Sony and be like, hey, how much to give it back? I know you got the bread for a big dog. Come on, what we doing? You got a little something. Just take it back, bro. And then all the game, I'm telling you, we would all rejoice. I think this will be the one time that'll bring all the gamers collectively together. Even if you don't play Souls games, I think you will be happy for all the people that love Bloodborne. Because I even didn't understand when Bloodborne first came out. I was like, why do y'all like this game so damn much? But now I understand. I totally understand why y'all like it, and I want to play it too. So that's all I want. I want to see that happen.
And only time will tell whether or not that will happen. In the meantime, in between time, since the last podcast, this is how I'm gonna start this one. Back in 2025, a major rapper was released from jail, Max B, and the wave was back. And it seems in 2026 that Pokemon is trying to catch it with the new announcement of Pokemon Wave and Wind.
Wind and wave.
Wind and wave. Yeah.
Wave and wind.
They catching a wave, man. It takes place on a tropical island. They got some new gen starters. That's all I know about.
Duolingo bird.
The Duolingo bird.
Duolingo bird.
It does look like a Duolingo bird, yeah.
It does.
I think my favorite thing about this announcement is it's a Switch 2 exclusive, bro. And people were in the comment section complaining, no Switch, which is fascinating to me because you guys bitched and complained that all these Pokemon games run like dog shit on the Switch 1. So they said, okay, well, we're going to make it a Switch 2 exclusive so it runs great. And now they're complaining. What? It kind of proves what you were saying, Ethos. They don't know what the fuck they want, bro. The Switch 1 is a PS4, guys. It's old as shit. They also had some new Pikachu variants and stuff like that. Pokemon is not really my thing nowadays, but I don't know. Was this doing anything for y'all?
I like the opening theme. The opening theme is cool. Like the main theme for the game is cool. But yeah, I haven't really played Pokemon since like OG Pokemon. That was when I was super into it then, but it doesn't really do it for me anymore.
Open world Ethos, is that doing anything to you? They said it's gonna be fully open world.
The last one open world? Am I tripping?
Yeah, but this one has better graphics, so I don't know.
I mean, nah, I don't know. I don't have a Switch 2, so I mean, I can't play it. So,
I mean, you could, but you know.
Oh,
allegedly. Shit, what about you, Jason? Doing anything for you? You itching to get that Switch 2 now?
No, absolutely not. There's only 3 people in our group play the game and love it. I was totally checked out when it came to like catching the shinies and stuff. I was like, what the hell is a shiny Pokemon? I don't know anything about that. I'm from old school. Like when I caught a missing no and then did the infinite rare candy glitch, that was my peak gaming in Pokemon. I don't know nothing about
your save file.
Absolutely, yeah. That's some of my save file. So the last Pokemon I played was Ruby and Sapphire, and after that I was just checked out. I don't know what's going on. So I just see the Pokemon people just bitching every time that a new Pokemon comes out, and it just makes me laugh. And how upset they get every single time.
Hey, Pokemon community, I got a solution for you. Support what is it? Beast Reincarnation, the other Game Freak game. Support that instead. Yeah, get some different experiences.
Fake Game Freak.
Yeah, that was one announcement, and it was a short like Nintendo Direct. They also announced a $70 mini Game Boy that's designed to be a jukebox, and it can play songs. You have to plug in a cartridge, so like they have like the Pokemon Red version cartridge. You plug it into the Game Boy, and it'll play the songs on the speaker. What's that doing for you, Watts?
Honestly, I think it's very easy to make fun of Nintendo for like their weird kind of physical things that they do, like that alarm clock they had. But I also kind of appreciate it because it feels like an old school kind of toy, which we don't really have anymore. Everything is moving digital, and this is like a physical kind of cool thing. So I'm actually not mad at it. I'm not gonna buy it, but I think
I would say we don't know the price of them 45 cartridges. What are them cartridges? $50 a pop. I bet you wouldn't even think about it.
They probably are.
What's this doing for you, Jay?
I mean, it's interesting, but again, Nintendo always finds a way, man, and nickel and dime you. They'll come up with some stuff you never asked for and be like, yeah, we about to charge you out the wazoo for this, for the nostalgia. So it is what it is. They definitely pulling on those heartstrings for sure, but I won't be purchasing it. But it was, again, we talk about nostalgia, man. That music did get to me a little bit. I was like, okay, but I ain't getting it though.
Oh, speaking of pulling on those heartstrings, here's an article in regards to Nintendo. According to several analysts within the gaming industry, specifically coming out of Japan, they said that Nintendo is basically at risk of becoming boring and stale because they rely on the same IPs. And they said they're fine now, but basically what's going to happen in 2036, 2046, like 20 years from now, they said Nintendo could really be at risk. I personally actually agree with this, and I got a lot of flack from my chat when I was talking about this on stream, but I agree with it because I think that Nintendo relies way too hard on nostalgia, and I think what Nintendo's not taking into consideration is they have not created the Mario and Zelda for the next generation. This younger generation, like Fortnite is their Mario and Zelda. So like it's always going to appeal to me and maybe like Gen X, but like as we get older, some of us are going to age out. We're not going to play games forever, and you always need to be casting a wide net. And I don't think I know they wanted Splatoon to be big, but it has a niche audience, but Splatoon didn't hit like it was supposed to. Nobody even talks about ARMS. And then they have a bunch of dormant franchises. I do think they need to have they need to come up with some next generation IPs that appeal to like the younger kids that they can grow up with and introduce their kids with. Because also we're losing recipes. I seen a TikTok the other day of this dude that was interviewing college students on LSU's campus, and he was interviewing kids of all different ethnic backgrounds. And he held up a picture and he said, "Who's this?" It was a picture of Whitney Houston. We all know who Whitney is. None of them knew who Whitney Houston was. And what that means is, and I've seen this, is a lot of parents are not passing down traditions and their favorite things to their kids, whether it's music, games, or whatever, because they too big. They just give them an iPad. So like I could see a world where like they don't grow up with Mario, they don't grow up with Donkey Kong and Zelda. So like I think they do need to think about coming up with some new the new guard basically. What you think, Jay? You got kids.
This is a tough one. Because while I do agree that the newer generation doesn't really care about the Nintendo franchises, I also feel like this is literally, we talk about identity, right? And how Xbox is losing its identity. We all know what Nintendo's identity is, and I don't think that they will ever pivot from that. But will it become stale 25 years down the line? I mean, who knows? I don't think that anyone can truly predict that. But I do think that they do need to come up with some fresh new ideas on top of also making sure that their iconic franchises stay true to heart, instead of just going all in on their iconic franchises that have been around for, at this point, 40, 50, 60 years. But that is kind of the reason why, like, there are so many grown men still walking around with Mario caps on and still holding on to it. Like, there are a lot of grown men gamers that play Nintendo franchises and love them. And I'm not really seeing that same sentiment with the younger generation. But it's funny because my daughter, she knows who Mario is for sure. And I joked and I said, I'm gonna pull the Nintendo out and I'm gonna make her go through the gauntlet and play Super Mario 1. Once she started really getting good with platformers, and she got to hold her emotion because she be getting way too emotional playing these games sometimes. But I'm gonna have her go through the gauntlet. So I do want to make sure that she understands like where gaming started, and not even off of gaming, but just everything that I grew up with and some of the things that my mom made me sit through that I found at the time quote unquote boring. But now that I'm older, I can appreciate her showing me some of the things that she grew up with, and some of and when it comes to music, some of her favorite artists and stuff. So I can't fully say that no, they're going to grow stale. But I do agree that they 100% need to come up with something fresh and new and stop just saying, "Oh, here comes a new Mario, here comes a new Zelda," and just hit us upside the head with that, and then think that everybody's just going to be okay with it.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
The reason I don't know is because in Japan, I think it's a very different story. Like Nintendo is so popular in Japan. We tried to get tickets to go to the Pokemon theme park in Japan. The tickets sell out in 30 seconds. 30 seconds every single day, every single time. It is sold out immediately. The stores, the Nintendo stores are completely packed constantly. When they interview, like if you watch kind of those street interviews where they interview kind of Japanese youth of what their favorite game is, you'll hear like Mario all the time. And they're probably like, let's say they're like 19, 17, somewhere around there. So I don't know if it's maybe just a difference of culture, right? Where parents and family are kind of just playing Mario Kart together, or they're playing, you know, whatever together. So they're getting introduced to these things. But like Nintendo World at USJ is also popping. Universal Studios Japan also popping. Super busy. So yeah, it might be. I could definitely see it in the West, because I do think there's definitely a thing of like these kids do not care about Mario, and they don't care. They're starting to not care about Pokemon. But I think Japan is probably a little bit of a different story. And then it's just a case of like, is Japan enough to sustain Nintendo with the success that they have experienced over the last X amount of years? Because they've grown so big. I don't know. I think Japanese companies do tend to be a little bit more like, yeah, we don't care about anyone. We're doing good here.
I mean, they've shown that time and time again. So yeah, you might be right on that over there. But yeah, we'll see.
Any thoughts, Ethos?
Nintendo and Pokemon will survive even after the bombs fall. I think
The rats
we're all
just
said and
hanging.
gone, and aliens come and figure out our society. I think the first thing they will see is a Pikachu. I just don't see a reality. Like I think like Pokemon will be around for the rest of our
Actually, you know what?
our natural lifetime. I don't ever think Pokemon.
You might be right, because I don't know if y'all saw. I didn't put this in the notes, but they also announced that they are re-releasing Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I saw so many people bitching about the price being $20. But you know what I did? You know what I did see? Did nobody say they weren't gonna buy it though? They pulled out that credit card. They said, "I don't want to pay this shit," but here you go, Nintendo.
Watch they bring up the eStore sales and watch that be number one on the eStore.
But that's the shit we be talking about.
Yep.
Y'all don't vote with y'all wallet. You don't like it, but you still bought it. That's crazy, man. You better emulate that shit allegedly or something. I don't know.
We been emulated that, bro, like 20-something years ago. Like, how you say, like just because it's on the Switch eShop now, y'all would. Anyways,
and when the Switch 3 come out, they're gonna have to buy it again on the Switch shop, because you know that shit don't carry over.
Right.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. We will see how that one plays out. We need a few years to learn about that one. FGC news. Evo announced big changes coming to the format. It is officially sold to the Saudi investment firm, and they announced on the website some big changes are coming to the Evo circuit this year. There were three major announcements, the first of which is they plan to further support local community events. Specifically what that means is that you will be able to, let's say you run like a local event that's big in your side of town, you'll be able to apply on their website to be one of the official affiliates of Evo, and if you get selected, you will get support like extra camera equipment, consoles, fight sticks, controllers, and stuff like that. So they'll help you grow your platform. The only red flag I feel like with this one, because it sounds great, but if you read, it says for select partners. So like, to me, that sounds a little gatekeepy and kind of defeats the purpose of the FGC, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how that plays out. The next announcement was that starting in 2027, there will be new locations for Evo, which includes Brazil, Morocco, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and China. And then last but not least, I thought this was the coolest announcement. They are also adding a new format to Evo to decide who's the pound for pound best fighting game champion. So before, the way it would work is you'd have your Street Fighter champ, your Tekken champ, if you play other shit like Melty Blood, Mortal Kombat, that's dead. I don't know. They're going to basically pick like 3 games, and you have to compete and win in all those games to be like boxing, like the pound for pound champion. Basically, you're the best in multiple weight classes. So you got to win in Street Fighter, Tekken, and whatever else, Mortal Kombat, and they'll crown you as the world's best fighting game player if you win however the format's going to work, if you win the majority of your games. You're a big FGC dude. How you feeling about these announcements, Jay?
Yeah, this one is conflicting for sure. And I've been seeing some other FGC people weigh in on this. While it is cool that now, because I mean, even though Evo has been the Mecca and it's in America, there were some people that, you know, have never been able to come, or, you know, when the time, you know, arrived and they can't come because, you know, especially now with the world, the way that the world is going, I would imagine it would be even harder to, you know, get a visa to even come into America to participate in this. But then they did Evil Japan, and then, you know, some of those people that weren't able to make the travel arrangements or didn't have a sponsor, couldn't afford it, they were able to play, you know, a major tournament over there in their side of the world. And now they're going to be doing Brazil and Morocco, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and China. So while that does, again, make it easier for the people in those respective regions to now be able to participate in Evo, or, you know, now they have to spend the enormous amount of cash to get to wherever the Evo is. What this does, though, and Japan was just kind of meh, but now that you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different Evos, that literally waters down what Evo is. It waters it down like completely, because now, like, it just, okay, well, now we're just doing Evo Morocco, you know, this time of the year we're doing Evo Brazil. So now a lot of people who probably would normally go to Evo, because again, that's the Mecca, in Vegas, now they probably won't go or not feel that is significant enough to even attend. If they live in one of these various areas or live close, they would just go to that one. So I just don't know how this is going to work, and that again does water it down. So I'm hoping that like Evo in Vegas going forward doesn't become a shell of its former self, because who knows what it's going to look like. It's already, you know, been to the point where it has gotten very commercialized. I mean, they need the money, so like I'm not mad at, you know, the sponsors coming in and doing all this stuff, but I mean, you sold it to the Saudis, so that people are already just like on the edge about that, and now we're doing all of this, so that's where I'm just super conflicted on like what the whole landscape of Evo is going to be going forward. But I do like the fighting game world championship, because people like Sonic Fox, Goichi, like they play multiple games and they have won the title in multiple games. So I would love to see more people who are versed in multiple video games and not just one trick ponies go against each other and see, you know, in this gauntlet, who is the pound for pound best. So I do like that. I'm on the fence on how I truly feel about just Evos being in every single part of the world, and how like the full scope of Evo being in Vegas is every year, because that was always super hype for me, but now it's going to be 9 different ones. I'm like, I don't know about that one, man. So it's just going to be a wait and see for me.
Yeah, because to be fair, with the big three that they have right now, which is US, Japan, and France, the only ones that mattered was the US and Japan. And then be 100% honest, if you said you was Evo champ, it meant the one in Vegas. But like, I'll give a little bit, because a lot of the best players do come from Japan. But be honest, right now, nobody cares about France, period. So them saying they're adding Brazil, Morocco, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and China, what's the hours on that? I'm not staying up like late to watch that shit. I feel like the only way it's gonna work is like if they do something unique to each region that it's gonna be in. Like, I know in Mexico, Dragon Ball is really big. It would be funny if they only did like Dragon Ball games, like Dragon Ball Fighters and like Budokai and shit like that. But like, I'm gonna be honest, you say, yo, I'm the Evo champ in Morocco, that does nothing for me. I don't know, man. But we gonna wait and see. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. The only thing I really like here is that world championship thing. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But
oh, and then another thing, you know, outside of like Evo being watered down, another argument got brought up about like some of the other major tournaments, because even though Evo is the Mecca, what about like CEO? Because that's in Orlando. Well, it's been traveling between Orlando and Daytona. Combo Breaker,
Breaker.
Yeah. So this guy's funny. So like those tournaments as well, like people were wondering, well, damn, like what, like how are they even going to navigate, because we don't know like when these other Evos are going to be like time wise. So like what if because CEO is usually I forgot what CEO is, but usually definitely in the summer.
It's killing the grassroots element. It's making it more corporate.
Yeah, so I just don't know about that either. I don't know if it's going to completely kill those other smaller but still significant tournaments. Because as I said before, like those tournaments were also, at least in Capcom's eyes, those were stops and those were qualifiers for their big championship. So like if you're just going to be like, oh, we're just going to do Evo in all these different countries, then you're just going to make those the stops for those qualifiers now. So it literally, it could potentially kill those other tournaments. They already said that they were suffering because of tariffs and stuff like that. I think it was Combo. Yeah, we talked about Combo Breaker saying that, you know, because of merchant stuff and the tariff that they, you know, might not even be able to survive or break even. So this is going to make it, you know, infinitely worse if people only care about Evo and they don't care about your tournament anymore. So yeah, it's going to, that could potentially really backfire.
2027, that's when we would find out. I'm going to assume Ethos and Watts don't care about this.
I got nothing.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, what's y'all take on this, man? Surprise, surprise, but a large portion of the staff that was working on EA Skate has been laid off. If you pull up the Steam DB numbers, it's averaging like 1,000 to 2,000 players. They said they cutting down staff to help restructure so they can get better support for their game. I don't understand how having less developers better supports a failing game, but that's what it said in the press release. What's that doing for you, Ethos?
I'm sorry, run that back again. They said they cut developers?
Developer Full Circle has announced internal restructuring that will impact certain roles as it aims to better support the free-to-play skateboarding game's long-term future. They cut like half the staff.
Yeah, they shutting that shit down, bro. That's a dead game.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the writing on the wall. That's it's probably not gonna make it long. I wouldn't be shocked. We know EA's record. They do not give immediate successes. You know, the No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk, you know, treatment chance. So I think just like Anthem, they'll probably just stop giving it updates, and then they'll just forget about it for a couple of years if they still are paying for the servers. And then when someone reminds them, then they'll shut it down the year after.
Yeah, I think by top of 2027, I wouldn't be surprised if they shut this down, just because, like, friendly reminder, this was a $50 billion company that sold last year for $55 billion, so they gained another $5 billion. They released a free-to-play, unfinished this was live service slop, in my opinion. Like, and the crazy part is, in my opinion, all they had to do was release Skate 4, just update the graphics, add more skaters, a story mode, crossplay, little co-op. It would have ate, like, it would have been fine. But instead, they released this open world thing with nothing to do in it, empty billboards everywhere. They thought they was about to sell ad space is what the issue was. The textures don't load in. It's just, and there's still nothing to do there. They just added an update, and now they're charging for more levels, basically. What's that doing for you, Jay?
I mean, yeah. Can we stop with this lie here? Like, how many times do we have to go, hey, we're cutting the staff so we can refocus on supporting the game? Like, that's not what it does. Like, I wish I would be more honest. I know you can, but you got to give the typical BR. But we got to change what this PR statement is, because that literally just makes no sense to me. Yeah, this really sucks, because I remember a lot of people were like super excited. Y'all remember when the Skate 4 reveal happened, and they were like so excited. They were like, "Oh my God, Skate is coming!" And then it turns out like this. Like, I just don't understand where they went wrong with this. Like, they had the world in their hand for all the skate fans, all the skateboarding fans that just wanted to play another Skate. So like, this just really sucked. Like, I wasn't a really big Skate fan, but like I could empathize with like all the people that were excited for it. So like, just to see it like end up in this state, like that I mean, that hurts. It really does hurt.
I don't empathize with them. Freaking
damn.
When they announced
the fans,
shit, no,
not the fans. I ain't talking about them. That's the studio.
Not with I am a Skate fan. I've always said top 10 video game demo of all time was probably that Skate 1 demo, bro. When that bum bum diggy bum bum. I played the hell out that demo. So I am a fan, and I still don't feel no empathy, because when they announced this, it was like, all right, cool. But as the years went on from when they had announced this, more than half of the announcements that they had when they did announce shit was about monetization, bro. That shit was always a red flag. Oh, we're adding this to the store. Oh, we're gonna find new ways to monetize. I was like, bro, what about the fucking game, dude? We didn't know shit about the game until like a month before it came out, dog. $50 million
Because they were still
company.
making it, man. It feels like a very rushed, there were issues in development kind of game. Like, this is clearly not, I would think, what any developer would want to put out, because this isn't the vision of Skate at all. This isn't what they want. So I can only imagine there was something going on in development. It ended up being rushed, and here we are. It's just bad management constantly with these live service games.
And just to be fair, like, I don't even have an issue with them going live service. Like, to keep it to where it should be. The issue with the game was the quality. It was the execution. All they had to do was put a fucking story mode in there, let you play co-op with the friends, a few extra game modes, crossplay. It would have been cool. Instead, we got something where the textures don't even load. That shit is crazy. But it is what it is. Any take, Ethos?
Nah, I mean, I agree with Watts. It's probably a management issue. It seems like that's been the writing on the wall for a very long time with Skate. I feel like they could never escape the shadow of this like inevitable like monetization hungry EA that would probably want them to do as much as possible. Because I think like when the devs first announced it, and they were very transparent. I think before it became like open, when it was like closed testing and stuff like that, they were like really active in like updating the game and like getting feedback. Like, it seemed like they had started a really try to do a genuine thing with the community. We're like, hey, help us try to form Skate. But then I think what Watts said happened was they were taking way too long, I think, in that period of like, oh, we're getting feedback from the community, and then we bring it, and we would do an update, and then, you know, we do that, and they just kept doing it over and over again. And I think like EA wanted like a definitive, like, we need to launch this thing. It's been in like incubation for so long. We need to put it out, and then on top of that, you got to make sure that it makes us some money for us to keep going with it. So just like every other thing with EA, if it doesn't make them a lot of money off rip, then they don't want to keep supporting it. EA is not a company that likes to. They're not a company that likes to. I guess retro a lot of their mistakes, and to fix those mistakes, they kind of just like put it away and just say, okay, it is what it is. And I feel like that's basically what's happened with Skate. They're not really going to try to figure out what went wrong. It's just more of this, just like, oh, okay, that didn't work, just put it away, let's find something else.
Friendly reminder, Black Panther died for this. Anyways, here's some good news. Depending on who you are, I don't know, unless you're a corporate shill. New York's dude, what are you doing? New York's Attorney General has announced that they will be suing Valve. In a release statement to the press, they said that there's a following investigation from the Attorney General of New York. They found that Valve's video games, including Counter-Strike 2, Team Fortress 2, and Dota 2, enable gambling by enticing users to pay for the chance to win a virtual rare item for a significant amount of money. In specific, they said they're using processes that are similar to slot machines. Watch, do you think that the Attorney General of New York has a case against Valve? And if they do, how will this change the landscape?
I don't know. We've seen other countries kind of go with this thing where you can't have any gambling in video games. I personally would like to see a change in general of, if you're going to make your game have gambling mechanics in it, then it needs to be 18 plus, 21 plus, whatever. And that needs to be that's how it should be. You either choose to do that and you want to keep your gambling because you're going to make money, but you're going to have to restrict it to a smaller audience. But in general, I hate these kind of mechanics in games. If there's a skin that I want, just let me buy it. You can even make it a more expensive skin if it's like something super fancy, but all of the gambling stuff I really don't like, because there are a lot of people that really struggle with this stuff, and it is grandfathering in children to have some kind of gambling problem. And I just don't think that it's healthy. I personally would love to see something in the store and go, I really like that, I'm just going to get it, instead of sitting there having to gamble my way into it. And I think it is also really bad because look at what we have now. We have people who are teenagers who maybe started gambling in Overwatch back in the day, and they're now gambling crypto and online casinos, and gambling is everything, is an infected everything. It's really, really bad. So do I think they have a case? Maybe. I think a lot of companies have kind of moved away from like slot machine kind of gambling now. But just for me personally, I would like to see games just not have gambling stuff in it in general.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, this one is going to be a little tricky here, but I want to say something before we get on what's going on now. Do y'all remember, your best pal TBH, T Marty Mar, when they did CSGO
Just
Lotto?
Just discovered this website called CSGO Lotto, guys, and I put $50 in, and I just keep winning. You guys should use my code T Marty Mar, baby.
I mean, even back then, they got in trouble for this. So It's funny now because I think that was in 2016. So we're literally 10 years later. And now it was stated like, hey, that stuff is gambling. Like, what's going on there? I agree with Watts. I mean, I personally don't like this. And yeah, it can be very dangerous, very addicting to, teenagers, adults alike. Anybody can become addicted to gambling, and yeah, it is a form of gambling. But the thing here is, can they prove now that Valve is truly allowing these? How would they be able to properly explain and provide the evidence that this is gambling? We have seen it happen with other games. We have seen it happen with other games like Overwatch, for example. We talked about the old loot boxes and then how that ended up getting changed. So I wouldn't say that it couldn't be done, but it's going to be very hard to go against Valve now because it's an entire company, not just for one video game, and try to prove that, hey, this is gambling, and you need to start disclosing what's going on, disclosing the odds, or upping it to 18 plus, like you said, Watts, or eliminating it completely, which I don't think they're going to do that. They're definitely not going to do that. So whatever changes need to be made, I just hope that they really have a compelling case on this. Otherwise, it's probably going to get thrown out, unfortunately. So
also, I think the other problem with the case is, from my understanding, this is New York's attorney general. So this would be the state of New York versus Valve. So even if they do win the case and some laws are changed, none of us live in New York. I don't think it would affect us unless it's a federal case. It doesn't really matter that much So if you're in New York, maybe pay attention to the case. But I will say I would like to see them win because I don't like none of this shit. But I do agree with you, Watts. It's not as bad nowadays, but there are still a few games that do it. And like, I would like to see all this shit gone, especially them gacha games. They still doing a lot of that slot stuff because it could fuck you up mentally. They be doing a lot of gambling tactics the same way casinos do. So we'll see how that one plays out. Any takey those?
I got a bet with Siggy on this. I hope it actually happens. I do think that Valve has for the longest time gotten away with it. I think recently they have been trying to take action, but I've always been in the position that I feel like Valve has, especially with the CSGO stuff. I feel like when the CSGO Lotto stuff should have happened, Valve should have stepped in immediately, like that week of, and shut all that down. And I think it was recently. I think it's only been recently. I think in the past year, like 2025, 2024, that Valve actually started taking action to prevent like API abuse of how the sites were actually transferring the skins through a third party. So Valve's position has always been is that we're not the ones that are doing the gambling stuff. It's like, third parties that are, using, our API, and we block that. So we're showing that we're actively doing this. But at the end of the day, I mean, you still have the Steam Marketplace, which is a system that literally encourages this. Like you are spending real money. You're not spending fake money. You're spending real money as a buy. You're trying to bypass basically you're trying to bypass that people who are just not knowledgeable about how the system is set up. And because a lot of, especially politicians and lawyers, don't understand how the system is set up because it's technology, that they've gotten away with it for a very long time, which is, my argument is simple, is that I would have given her insider, been a consultant on the case to help them further understand this. I was like, you have a company who has a marketplace that is basically incentivized to ensure that marketplace keeps going, and that the attitude of having a player base that is younger, because I don't know what the rating is on CS2 right now. I think it's rated M because of the violence. But even still, I think what's the gambling regulation? 21, I think. I have to double check, but effectively you could have potentially underage people who lie about their age, or on a marketplace who are buying cases, and then you're using it as it is basically a Skinner box. You are basically pulling the lever, and it's like a slot machine. Like, it is going like, and then it stops slowly, and then boom, you hit your mark, and then you get this item, and then that item has value. So when you sell it, you are getting a monetary, there is monetary value within them selling it on the marketplace, and then you getting money that then you can buy like another game for it, or you buy another skin with that said money, or you buy another loot box that then you can, sell for. And I've said it for a long time. I don't have evidence of this yet. I wouldn't be shocked if it happens, but I've been convinced that for a while. I think that illegal or nefarious forces have been using Steam's marketplace as a way of money laundering. I think that place has been extremely unregulated for a very long time. Outside of what influencers, if you think influencers manipulated the market for a long time through their betting and lying to consumers, I can't fathom, mafias or more less, or criminal organizations have been potentially using gotcha systems or marketplace.
I can see that. You're saying they're washing their money with skins, basically.
Yeah,
they're illegal money.
Because there's a lot of money that's involved. Valve, of course, is incentivized to not really pursue too much outside of until it becomes a problem. They don't do it until there's a lawsuit, and then they take action. It's not a pre thing. It's oh shoot, we're being sued. Like right now, oh shoot, we're being sued. Okay, we'll take action to fix the problem. I said this before. Do you remember what happened? I think a lot of people don't remember. We remember because we're younger. We're older. But you remember how Valve was notoriously known for having really shitty customer service. Like a lot of times when you'd have to request, I think their better bureau like had them as like an FRD. Like they were very bad at responding to customers' emails and support for like bad actions of like, items. And it wasn't until a lawsuit that all of a sudden that started to change. So I think like these things are net goods. I don't understand this. I don't understand how there's some gamers. I don't think they're really gamers. I think they are the people who are playing or gambling addicts, or are the people who are trading skins or gambling on skins. But I don't understand how like any gamer would look at this lawsuit and be mad about it and be like, they're looking at them going at poor little Valve. Like, what the hell are you talking? Like, what? Why are you licking this boot? Like, I don't understand that. That's something I just don't understand, is why you'd be in favor of Valve, or why you'd be in favor of or against potentially like a regulation that I feel like the industry has needed for a very long time. And it's already been proven in court across the ocean. There's been multiple countries from Australia to some Europe countries that have basically prevented loot boxes. Even EA games, they can't put loot boxes in some of their games for some countries. I don't understand why you wouldn't want that. If you truly care about the industry and you're tired of slop, I don't understand why you would not hopefully want a positive resolution out of this, that they get removed, or at least there's more regulation done.
I would agree. But only time will tell, because I mean they just filed for this lawsuit, so it's going to take a while for this one to play out. But we will be keeping an eye on that one. Yep. The same way we're keeping an eye on this story. NVIDIA reports a truly astonishing $193 billion in revenue over the last year, up 75%, and they only made $16 billion in gaming. Translation: we're probably not getting any new GPUs, and there's going to be a shortage of them for a very long time, because they are making a shit ton of money off these AI data centers. Watch it, shaking your head. What's going on?
We're not going to get new anything from anyone. Like, the only way that we're going to get new tech is if like some company comes out of somewhere and they just are in it for the love of the game, and they're like, I'll be okay with my, $15 billion and not my $200 billion. And I'll make consumer grade products that I'm going to sell only to consumers. It's, which is very, very rare that you get a company that is okay with making a lot of money, but just not making all the money. We're not going to be getting new GPUs, new CPUs, new chips, new consoles. We're not going to be getting new anything, because every company has now just shifted to supplying for AI data centers. And I think the state of the world really, really sucks.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm praying for all day downfall. I'm hoping that the analysts who say this is a bubble that's going to burst, I hope it's real. because this is not good for anybody. Look at the number of money they made off of gaming in comparison to these data centers. It's just a logical, like, which one are you gonna double down on? So I'm hoping these motherfuckers fail, bro. Like,
I hope so. I hope so. Because this is like, I know it's propping up a lot of the economy and like there's going to be some bad stuff that happens, but if it keeps going, it's also bad because we're not going to be able to get any new anything. We're just going to be sitting here slaves to AI, and that's going to be.
Well, that's the problem. I'd argue it's not propping up the economy. It's propping up Wall Street, but it's not propping up Main Street. It's not, that money's not trickling down to us. That's why in this, I don't know if y'all see this article in the picture of the Nvidia CEO. Look at that smile on his face, just jolly as hell the way he grabbed that suit, bro. Yeah, so that money,
why do you even need that much money, bro? Why you need that much money?
You really don't. You really don't.
Like, I'd imagine your life, once you make $1 billion, there's no difference between $1 billion and almost 200. Like, how does your life change? I don't get it, bro. Other than you just want to flex on people.
We're cooked, man. Bro. We're cooked as gamers.
We really are cooked. I mean,
Buckle
maybe the
take care of your stuff.
Maybe the positive side is you'll have less casual tourist takes because they can't afford to play games.
Well, no, because I mean,
I take it back.
Remember the dude who said there's mass refunds on Marathon. They're not playing the games; they're just lying.
No one plays the games in it. Yeah, they're just gonna be more people pretending that they're playing it. Yeah, I totally got a PC. I bought one.
Please take care of your technology. Clean it out at least once a month. The dust, because right now it's looking spooky, man. It's spooky.
Real scary, man. I don't like it.
Lightning round. September 15, 2026, we got the official release date for Marvel's Wolverine. Anybody care?
Yeah.
I won't be done with Phantom Blade Zero probably.
You said you're getting Phantom, because Phantom Blade's coming out the week after or before? You're getting that first?
Before.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I might have to skip Phantom Blade, or I might start it and put it down because Wolverine's a priority for me.
Wolverine all day.
Okay.
I'm playing both. Forget it. That comes out 4 days before my birthday. I'm playing it, but I'll also be playing Phantom Blade.
This release date was interesting. I think this is guys. Bluepoint who? Wolverine. Woo!
Distraction.
Blizzard announced Overwatch Rush, which is a mobile version of their game. It has a top-down camera angle. I believe it's 4v4, but it has similar game modes. Is this doing anything for anybody?
Did you see the racism of that?
No, what was the racism?
Oh, I did.
Right.
You're itching to talk about that.
Oh, man.
Did you see the racism of that shit, bro? What happened with that?
Somebody tweeted, which I thought was the funniest shit, because I was like, what is the context of this? They just tweeted and they said you can see racism if you look close enough. And I was like, what? And it's I'm not joking. It's just a video of the, you remember how like when you'd get play the game or something like that, there'd be like a little like highlight animation that would play before you played it, a little like flourish animation. So you're watching the video, and what you notice like all the like all the white characters and all the like Kiriko, like very popular character, they all get these like crazy, like anime, Korean animated, like 20-second animations. You gotta sit there and watch them do all these crazy flips and really like over animated animations, like crazy high quality animations. And then you see Lucio and Farah, and all they do is like that's it. It's literally 3-second animations. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, am I being too woke right now? Or I'm like,
no, that's fair. That's a little sus. That wouldn't make me mad, but it does look sus though.
For League players, it's like, the OG skins that like don't even have a backing animation versus like
blue
the
skin.
gotcha skin.
Yeah.
It's that much of a difference. It's like
you'll notice
it's like a 2-second animation.
I'm about to go back
Farah.
and actually look.
She just shows up, and then that's it. She's just like,
she just shows up. That's it.
That's it.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just placeholders for now, because apparently it's still an alpha.
No, because the Overwatch community said no, it's a pattern, because they said they do the same thing with Overwatch too. They said it's literally a pattern. They said there's no difference of this. They do it in Overwatch, and they've done it and now they're doing it in Rush.
Blizzard, you got some explaining to do.
Because they said the same thing. They said, I swear to God, if Kiriko gets one more fucking skin, we were like, I'm going to implode. I'm gonna jump off of something.
And jokes aside, from a gameplay standpoint, it doesn't look bad. I'll try it.
No,
I play mobile games.
You guys have phones, right?
I'll put up this. Fuck up, bro. Discord announced they're cutting ties with Persona, the AI software that was backed by Peter Thiel, basically who's affiliated with the country that starts with an I. That's tricking. Well, I don't even say tricking because he's a fucking moron.
Has relationships with Epstein.
Has relations with Epstein. Epstein's friends, the guy who says he doesn't know him, but ended up 38,000 times in the files. Now they're firing missiles at countries and shit. Apparently they're pulling out. They saw the feedback, and Discord said, "Well, we're going to reassess the situation." So I think this is a W. Not scanning
Good
your
job,
ID.
everybody. Good job.
It's a temporary W, but it really ain't. It's going to be
fighting, guys.
Yeah.
Gotta keep fighting.
If you don't like something, say something.
Keep bullying them.
Nah, they only did this because they got hacked, conveniently after they announced it.
Keep bitching with Discord, because the reason why is they don't make money. So I do think if people keep bitching that we're not going to use this shit and people actively start switching to other platforms, you can scare them because they don't make no fucking money. That's the real issue.
Nitro. I stopped when that news came out. I stopped paying Nitro because I used to give them like $10 every month for the feature.
Even
with your wallet though.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of Nitro subscribers because remember it came out in 2015 and it's been free for like 10 plus years. That's why they introduced Nitro, because they had all the investors are how they've been keeping the servers online. They were not making any money. So like absolutely people backlashing on this scared them to death because they have to pay back those investors. So keep letting them know you're not fucking with this shit, bro.
Yeah, see what happens when you can vote with your wallet and your time, and you can change a lot. Casinos are very powerful.
This app is not that important. We will go back to TeamSpeak or whatever, or the what I leaked the shit.
I'll go to Ventrilo.
Somebody asked. They were like, what do we go to? I was like, Steam. I was like, dude, go to Steam.
Steam, save us, please. If you hear us, Steam, save us.
In pathetic news, apparently there is a website where if let's say you get into a match with somebody online and you don't like them, you can pay people and give them the username, and then they'll throw their match. They'll go into the match and throw it. So people are using this for Overwatch, League, and Marvel Rivals. You can pay to throw a match against your ops. What's that doing for you, Jay? You're laughing. And the site's getting a lot of backlash, to be fair.
Come on, man. This is ridiculous. That's what I'm saying, man. See? Capitalism, bro. Literally, like, why would you do this? Somebody literally say, "Hey, man, like, you wanna get paid to throw matches?" That's insane. Yeah, and then you wonder, like, what if somebody did this in your match and you just have no clue what's going on, and then you end up getting tilted, bro? Somebody put a bounty on you because of what you did. Pay somebody else.
It was crazy. This is deja vu because this has happened before. It was just a different version. I remember. I remember this. I remember this like it was yesterday. A company made, and they also got slandered. It was, but it was different. It was about bullying. It was like if you were being toxic, you could hire. It wasn't even like you didn't have to pay for it. It was
Wasn't there a hit list for Arc Raiders? If they put you on the bully list?
Yeah, but there was something about it was like a harassment thing where it was like if you were being harassed in game, like it was like something for women.
Oh,
you remember that? It was like and then these like hardcore like women FPS gamers would go into your game and like just beat your ass and like that. I can't remember. I was like so long ago. Unfortunately, it got as you can imagine, it got slandered.
They did like a video.
A video, yes, yeah. There was like a funny video about it. Yeah,
and they're like, viral. We're sending one of them in right now.
Yeah. It was like it was. I'm not gonna lie, the video was terrible. It was very bad.
It was real bad. It was by Zombie Unicorn was the like host of it. Yeah.
I gotta find it. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic.
You guys should watch that video.
Yeah, that will give you a good.
That's a nice throwback to like.
That goes back to when the internet was alive. That was a long time ago.
That's true.
I can't stress enough. Video games are supposed to be fun. Listen, guys. If at any point the game makes you so mad, you log on this website and pay somebody to throw a match for your top op in your last rank match, you need a new hobby. Please go outside. It's never that deep, man.
It's not that deep.
I will say there is a funny one of the art creator guy that goes around asking people if they're like, what do you think about ICE? What do you think about Trump?
Yeah.
Like, he dials them. He says, what do you think about that?
Wrong answer, you die.
Wrong answer? Yeah, you go back to the lobby.
First look at the God of War TV show coming to Amazon Prime. Just a little still of them in their fits. What do we think?
Ass.
Yeah, no, it didn't look good.
I'm not gonna lie, if
That came out of my brain immediately, bro.
if Amazon didn't tweet this out, I would have thought this was an AI image.
I was
So many
scrolling and
people,
thought the
yeah.
same thing. I was like, "What is
What the
this
fuck is
trash?"
this?
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what?"
It's
I know that-
overproduced.
The actor for Kratos came out and was like, "Don't believe everything you see." I don't know, could be PR,
What does that mean?
but
What does that mean?
I don't know.
This
Would
is
you
the
just say,
official
like,
God of War
that's not-
Prime
Yeah.
account.
I know.
This is Amazon.
I don't know.
That's
Like, if
damage
it's
control.
you, it's actually
That's-
you. Like, what do you say?
Which one is that's
fucking
AI?
funny.
Like, that's not you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, people didn't
I-
like this.
I do not. I don't get it. So there's a lot of really funny responses to that tweet of who the kid looks like. Go check him out. It's really funny. And
I
like
will.
the pose is so bad
It's
too.
bad.
Like I don't understand why they felt the need to do this. Maybe like some stuff was about to leak that they've been recording or something, but surely you could get them in the studio to do a better picture or something.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at it and like kind of nitpicking it,
It looks bad the more you look at it.
Kratos doesn't look buff enough. I'm gonna be honest. And then also
Correct.
the little boy, he looks British. He don't look Greek.
They
Does he
look
not look British?
Somebody said it. You know, I'm gonna say it. I think the problem too is the Viking originally when they made the when I saw the casting for who's gonna play Kratos, I saw another clip of them in another show. I think it was Vikings or another show. I can't remember. But I was like, oh yeah, the voice. It was the voice. The voice. I was like, oh yeah, he could definitely sound like Kratos. But then now that I'm seeing the image, and some people brought it up, it's like Kratos does have some ethnic features, like some black features. He does, like the structure of his face and stuff like that. I was like, you can see a lot of black actors like oh yeah, they could fit him perfectly. And I was like, it's something about his facial structure. It doesn't match. It doesn't feel like correct.
He's literally a
I think
Greek
like-
god. He's not built like a
Yeah.
Greek god. That's the problem.
Yeah, so it's not. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, for the first time, I'm like, we might be dealing with, and for the first time, an actual like reverse. You know how people are always mad. Why are they black? I was like, oh, we could do the funniest thing now. We could be like, why is he white? Like we could reverse it for the first time.
He's like the
ever.
male version of Wonder Woman, because like Gal Gadot never looked like Wonder Woman to me.
No.
Like she just didn't have that build. Like he doesn't have the build. I don't
And she's a
think.
Zionist. I don't like her.
I feel that too. Hey, chill. Not trying to get missiled down over here.
My bad.
What's the name? We'll see though. At the end of the day, what they look like doesn't matter that much. What matters most is the acting and the writing. So I mean, until I see a trailer, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because Amazon has been dropping heaters. So like, I'll keep an open mind for now.
Yeah, we'll see. Not looking as good as Fallout though.
Yeah, for sure.
Not good. Yeah.
Update on God of War Son of Sparta, which is the 2D game that launched with co-op. People were complaining that when you buy the game, it's listed with co-op, but you can't play it until after you beat the game. The studio listened and they patched it, and now you can play the co-op off rip. So if you were interested in the game, but you were turned off by that, having to actually play the game that you paid for, you can now just go straight to the co-op.
I don't think anybody's playing
That's
that
good.
game, dog.
Unfortunately, I don't think. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
I saw Twitch had a sponsorship. I said, "Oh, I'll come back to that." It's been like a week and a half, and I'm like, "Oh, dang, they still got slots." I was
Still
like, I don't
there.
think nobody wants to play it, bro.
Well, to be fair, those Twitch sponsorships are basura. bro. What are you talking
$20.
about?
That don't matter.
$11.
Okay, here's the thing, right? If I'm gonna play the game regardless, that's free money. I'm gonna take it. I'm like, all right, it's free money. I'm gonna get it anyway. I was planning on playing it anyways.
Not if you
I'm
knew what they was
playing it.
paying before. Not if you knew what they was paying
Okay,
before.
I'm saying it as if you, before you even knew the sponsorship existed, if you knew like Marathon, it was up, right? I knew I was streaming Marathon. I didn't give a fuck it was $30. I was just like, well, I mean, I'm streaming the game regardless. This is free money. I'm just gonna get it because I was already gonna do it in the first place. I'm saying is that there was already no want to play the game to begin with, outside of there just even being a financial incentive. To be like, I'm trying to show you money, even if it's like $20. A smaller stream would be like, hey, it's $20, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'll take it for $20. But I'm like, if someone's still waving like a $50 bill at you and be like, hey, would you like to play my game? Okay, if someone walked you on the stream and was like, hey, I'll give you $50 if you just play my game for an hour. Most of us are gonna be like, yeah, sure, why not? That's free money for me. But to consider that's like in somebody's face.
The game turned out to be Code Violet.
Yeah, and nobody. Well, I'm not gonna say. Yeah. That's the thing. I don't think the game's bad, but for some reason, I don't think it's definitely not that bad. But for some reason, it's not. It's not resonating. People don't feel like they want to play it. Like they're not. They're not playing it. What's the
I think this is one of those cases where, like, because it's funny, I'm about to contradict.
Let me look at the Twitch
we said on the
numbers.
last podcast, it's not fair to say who asked for this because technically nobody ever asked for it. But I do think it applies to this game.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody really asked for a 2D.
What's the name of this God of War? What's the name of it?
Sons of Sparta.
They could. I think the idea of a teenage Kratos is fine. Like, but why not just make it a 3D action game?
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. There's 10 people streaming this game right now.
Well, that's not an indicator of how much it's sold, though.
You're right. Let me bring up the Steam charts. My bad. Stream.
There's only 25 online. Failure.
This game is dead. The single player game dead. Did people play it a lot? Like, watch, like, did you notice, like, were people, like, when it came out, did you see, like,
No, I didn't see a lot of it. No, I didn't.
Last but not least, Ninja Gaiden 4 DLC announced the 2 masters, bunch of new boss fights, $15, March 4th this week. Anybody playing it?
I ain't got no time, man. I was so mad. I was watching this. I was like, why are we releasing it now? Why are we releasing it now? I would.
Please.
Maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play it later. It's not going to be super long. Ninja Gaiden's a pretty short game. But yeah. I can't do that right now.
Still on Resident Evil. Still ain't beat Neo 3, and we about to play Marathon. There's no time for this, unfortunately. It is what it is. That's all I got on my show notes. Unless y'all want to add something else to this conversation.
That's it for me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I saw some of you bitching and moaning in the comment section on last week's episode. Man, we need a 2-hour episode. We did 2 hours, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This has been Gaming Illuminati episode 179. Ladies first, you got the floor. What's your closing statement, Watts?
I don't know. I'm gonna play some games. You can watch us play Marathon. Ask us what we think about it. That's it. Come watch my stream. Give me money.
All right, Wings. What's your closing statement for episode 179? Go.
Marathon coming out. Please come to my stream and give me money and watch me play the game.
Yes. Let's get a group hype train going.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
JG, closing statement.
Go play some games, y'all. Please. Just go play games.
Yeah. And my closing statement to piggyback off that, just friendly reminder: games are supposed to be an escape, a way to have fun. If at any point you feel like you're not having fun anymore, it's okay to take a break or find a new hobby altogether. There's no need to get on the internet and spread misinformation and just straight bold-faced lies. There's no need to pay people to throw games. Whatever you got going on in the real world, please take that in consideration and try not to project that onto this hobby, because that's exactly what it is, a fucking hobby. If you made it this far in the podcast, make sure to leave a comment saying ethos for the thumbnail.
No, it's over. We're done with that.
No, we're gonna try you again. We're gonna try you again.
Say hashtag Puerto Ricans on top.
You're not off the hook, buddy.
We're off the hook.
You know what it is, Ethos? I think it's because of the Bad Bunny performance at Super Bowl. It gave them a boost on
No, it is not.
Hashtag Puerto Ricans on top.
They're sitting there watching Bad Bunny like fan cams, and now they're just getting fed.
Oh, shit.
No, it is not, bro. I'm just handsome. Come on, man.
There you go. Puerto Ricans on top.
Let's go with that one.
Handsome. Go ahead. Put it in the chat.
Puerto Ricans on top. Hashtag in the comments, Puerto Ricans on top. Other than that, hit the like button on the YouTube version of youtube.com/GI updates. Rate the show 5 stars. Also, hit the hype button if you see it. If you don't see it, I'm sorry. I swear to God it exists. I'm not gaslighting you, because some people in the comments swear we are. It exists, and if you see it, hit the fucking hype button. It really helps us. Other than that, we appreciate you guys for coming through. This has been Gaming Illuminati episode 179. Peace.
Bears.